and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
Hey, contact lens wearers, are you tired of wasting time and money every day putting contacts in, taking them out, cleaning, ordering new ones, glasses, prescription sunglasses? Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK can change your life. About 5 minutes per eye. You could go back to work the very next day. 2 years, 0 interest financing is available, and $1,000 off is available. 919-510-6830. 919-510-6830. Make the call. You can go online, TraversLASIK.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Middle of the day Monday, temperatures in the 80s with highs today 88 to 90 degrees. Isolated afternoon showers and storms. Calm overnight in the low to mid 70s with rain from Hurricane Debbie getting close to us as soon as Tuesday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 1,062 points to 38,675. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
O'Connell with 1 second, left wing three on the way, banks it in! He got it! I don't believe it!
Jeremy backs out, has Roberts on him into the paint, rises up, big time!
Young throws, he's got Tommy, near side 2-1, touchdown Carolina.
To Ryan, catch and shoot three, right wing, he did it again! Ryan has 27! Anderson makes a save, and it's kept out by Martin! What a save! Martin just robbed
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Monday. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. Panthers training camp full swing, right? It's in rhythm. There's no more, hey, where do we go to warm up? What drill are we doing next? Everybody knows how it goes. That's not to say everything's going well. Dennis, what were we saying? It started, right, because their first training camp practice, we were out in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was their first padded practice. That was fun. You were in attendance. What has been one of our calling cards, one of our refrains, our choruses? No news is good news.
No news is good news.
At this point in the season, if you're not hearing anything, that means they're just grinding. There's no holdouts. No one's asking for more money. There's no Brandon Ayuk situation. There's no CeeDee Lamb situation. And on top of that, everybody's healthy. Well, guess what? We're starting to hear a lot of news. There's still no holdouts, but we're starting to hear a lot of news. And if no news is good news, that means the news I'm about to tell you isn't great, isn't it? Even the news that we only you can anticipate, right? We knew Jonathan Brooks wasn't ready. Did not expect him to see him in the preseason at all. By the way, Jonathan Brooks, second-round pick, running back out of Texas, expected to be bell cow if and whenever he gets healthy. I don't think anyone was it's not surprising that Dave Canales said they're not expecting him until 2 or 3, 4 weeks into the regular season. But just hearing him say it was like, man, right? You're still holding out that little bit of hope. You know what I mean? If you're up against you see it with Best Picture or something at the Oscars when there's one that everybody knows is going to win, but that fifth movie is still holding out. Like maybe we'll be the surprise of the night. Like I knew Jonathan Brooks wasn't going to be playing early in the season, but maybe he's Adrian Peterson reincarnate and he's going to recover from his ACL in 2.5 months and he's going to run for 2,000 yards this year. He's out. Dave Canales with a updated us on Xavier Legette's foot lower leg extremity issue. Not a fracture. The scans came back clean, but he still isn't practicing, and it's day-to-day. Who knows? Not going to play this Thursday, and that's a player that seems like he needs some reps. I'm going to have to pick up the pace here if we're going to get through all the injuries in this segment.
I know.
I'm talking too much about each one. Stephon Sullivan, tight end, placed on injured reserve with a quad injury. Tommy Tremble, tight end, sidelined with a hamstring injury. Ian Thomas, tight end, dealing with a calf injury that could sideline him all the way up to week 1 of the regular season.
Tommy Tremble expected to be back probably after the first preseason game this Thursday. So, hey, let's go. Progress.
Fingers crossed.
Let's go.
This is where the unsuperstitious person in the room, me, starts saying, like, easy, buddy.
Yeah. Pump those brakes.
But, yes, you're right. That's the expectation. But it's a hamstring. Hamstring, yeah, all right, let's see how it feels. Oh, there's a twinge. All right, 3 more weeks. Leaves the tight end room to Jatavian Sanders, their rookie, 4th-round pick. Jordan Matthews, who many of you remember as a journeyman wide receiver. Felipe Franks, who many of you will remember as the University of Florida quarterback. And now they've signed Jacob Hollister and Jesper Horsted.
Is it Jesper Horsted? Because I'm pretty sure he can play second-line center for the Canes right now.
He's from Princeton.
Oh, there you go. Smart guy.
Hopefully.
Sure he and Jack Drury would not get along.
Shaq Thompson watched his 3rd consecutive practice while he deals with a hamstring injury. Did he play today? I don't believe so. So that'd be 4th
I do
straight.
not think so. So Trevin Wallace was getting time with the ones.
That would be
the rookie
4th consecutive practice for Shaq Thompson.
I think it's a hamstring injury for him, too.
Yep, hammy. Damian Lewis, left guard, big-name free agent, shoulder injury. He's been limited, still doing some things, but limited.
Okay.
Andy Dalton, quad injury. He's out for at least a couple of weeks. Kamoko Toure, defensive end, who they brought in as depth on the defensive line, edge rusher. He's on the reserve injured list, which made way for Jake Luton to be the quarterback signed to take place of Andy Dalton, who is hurt. DJ Wonnum still not in the mix. Another outside linebacker, edge rusher. Amari Barno still not in the mix. Outside linebacker, edge rusher. Offensive tackle Yash Nyman, whose undisclosed injury keeps him on the active, physically unable to perform list. But they've all been out at the practices, at least paying attention. This is starting to pile up for a team that does not have a tremendous amount of depth. Let's go to the optimistic coach, Dave Canales, on the injuries and what that may mean.
It's kind of like that next man up mentality, and while I would love for them to be out there having those reps, it's so valuable for all the guys to be able to get those reps so we can really gather information. You know, even as we go into these preseason games, I would love for X to be out there at some point just to play NFL football, but we have a good group of receivers that are fighting for these spots on our roster. So I love that room, just getting those opportunities, being able to see different guys rotate in there with the ones and all that. So again, you know, for me, I'm always kind of, you know, the next man up, you know, opportunity type of mentality.
You're not going to get anything but that from Dave Canales. You're not going to get anything but optimism. You're not going to get anything but, hey, this is a chance for us to see the backups. How exciting. I would not get a chance to know what, David Moore looks like with the first team if Xavier Legette didn't get hurt. It's like, what? If Adam Thielen didn't need a rest day, Xavier Legette wasn't out, how in the heck would we be aware of what Devin Tompkins would do playing with Bryce Young? Like, that's the optimistic spin. The more pessimistic or maybe even realistic spin on all of these injuries is the Panthers had issues on their roster last year, and this offseason they didn't have the resources to find 2 and 3 solutions to each of those problems. In many cases, they had enough resources to come up with one solution. Last year, they had 15 different guards playing in games, offensive guards. They didn't get a chance to bring in 4 new starters. They got a chance to bring in 2 new starters, and it cost them $153 million over the next 4 and 5 years. So when Damian Lewis isn't able to go full speed, there's not like other solutions jumping out. Xavier Legette, they traded up back into the first round to get him. With him now not available, you're not going to find that level of prospect elsewhere on the roster as much as you like some of those guys down on the roster. Right? It plays into the whole like roster geometry that we've been talking about, which is Deontay Johnson comes in. That makes your old number 1 wide receiver your number 2 wide receiver. Your old number 2 wide receiver your number 3 wide receiver. And suddenly everyone's more suited for the role. Well, if Xavier Legette comes out of that system, everybody from his spot down is right where they were last year. Right? Maybe Mingo was a little overtasked being the 3rd wide receiver in an offense, but at the 4th wide receiver, you like him. Xavier Legette goes down, Mingo's right back where he was overtasked. And you can go on and on, right? The tight ends room, I mean, 3 guys who, depending on how ready Sanders was when he showed up fresh out of the draft, Trimble, Thomas, and Sullivan may have been your 1, 2, and 3. Jatavian Sanders, by the way, a guy I've loved since before the draft as a prospect, seems to be taking advantage of the opportunity, kind of that Dave Canales spin, making plays in practice. Here he is earlier today on what he's learned from Thomas and Trimble, 2 guys that are out.
Showing me what it like feels like to be a pro in and off the field, you know what I'm saying? One of the things I needed to do coming into the next level of my game was taking care of my body and being Ian being a guy who's been in the league for this is 8th year I think now. He knows how to take care of his body, so I've been trying to do things that he does, and it's helped a lot actually.
And then make plays, which he's been doing. Like I said, Sanders has been making plays. But I will say this about rookies, particularly the super physically gifted rookies, and Sanders was that at Texas. They're going to make the pop plays. They're going to make the wow plays. Then sometimes the mental errors are harder for us to see. Make 3 one-handed catches. We're like, whoa, he's awesome. Meanwhile, the offensive line coach is like, he hasn't blocked the right guy in 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
But so by the way, I'm not saying that's happening. I'm just saying we wouldn't know because we don't know how the blocking assignments are laid out. Point being, Panthers cannot afford injuries. They're getting smacked by injuries. They need to start getting healthy at a rate faster than they're getting injured. And if they don't, then week 1 could be even more of an uphill battle. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Want to tell you about what's going on over at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. I saw them promoting the Norcanes. Norcane, if you're an old school watch lover, timepiece lover, you may be a little averse to a pop of bright color, a highlighter color in your watch. I'm just going to ask you this. Head out to the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry. You can take a look at the pre-owned and vintage. You can take a look at some of the more classic, 100, 200-year-old brands. But just pass through the Norcane case and take a look, because something they're doing that is I'm not really seeing other watches, other brands do, is they are incorporating just a little bit more of that color pop, a little bit more into the dial, into the bezel. You can obviously pair it with a strap if you want to put some color in there, but they have the elite mechanism, right? The movement on the inside is as crisp and as accurate as you can find, and then on top of that, they're doing a little bit more as far as, hey, I want people to notice what's on my watch. If you don't like it, that's fine. They have everything else possible at Fox and Bailey Watch Shop for you to tickle your fancy. But just give them a little drive-by over at the Norcane case. That's all at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry, their Village District location. It is a vibe when you're in there. It's really cool. Make sure they know you heard about it here on The Drive. We're going to take a break. When we come back, 99 questions about the college football season. How long can you wait before naming your starting quarterback? Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Dak Prescott should be the one voice in that organization. He always says the right thing. He always presents a great front, and he always presents team first, winning, class. He's awesome. He should be the one voice. They will never do it. There shouldn't be the Jerry Jones weekly radio show. There shouldn't be the Jerry Jones press conferences, all the different things he says. But that man, Dak Prescott, should be the one voice in that organization.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Truist. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist. Leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Everything for the exterior of your home, but it's also everything for the peace of mind of the customer. Talk to me about the trust factor and everything else that you guys offer.
I got to tell you, I think one of the biggest things for us is we don't take any payment from you for any of your home improvement needs until we're done with the project. I hear stories all the time about people putting down deposits with companies, 25, 50% of the project total overall, and they don't even know, they don't show up.
Right.
You've lost whatever percentage you put down, that's how much power you lost already. Right?
Right.
So with us, you pay nothing until we're done. Typically we're not the least expensive and we're certainly not the most expensive. You get 3 or 4 estimates, we're going to fall right there in the middle. But, you're going to have a warranty that's lifetime, transferable for 10 years on any of the products we sell typically. And we've been around since 1961. You can trust us. We've been around forever.
It is about trust. And I think you guys are the most trustworthy business that I know. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games, sponsored by Westin Hotels and Resorts. Find wellness at Westin. 3 American men are through to the semifinals of the 200 meters. Noah Lyles, Arian Knighton, and Kenny Bednarik all won their heats. The U.S. women's 3x3 basketball team is getting underway against Canada in the bronze medal game. The Americans lost to Spain in overtime earlier today to end their hopes for back-to-back golds. It was a busy day for American beach volleyball teams. On the men's side, Miles Partain and Andy Benish advanced to the quarterfinals with a 2-0 win over Italy, while Miles Evans and Chase Budinger lost to Norway in straight sets. On the women's side, Kristen Nuss and Taryn Kloth fell to Canada. And Simone Biles won silver in the floor exercise today. Her teammate Jordan Childs won bronze. Earlier on the balance beam, Biles fell and finished 5th. Suni Lee also fell during her routine and took 6th. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
Wellness means something different to each of us. And at Westin Hotels and Resorts, we believe every step is an opportunity to enhance your well-being. Whether it's guided group runs and workout gear on demand, or nourishing food options and restorative rest in our heavenly bed, when you travel, you can find wellness at Westin, one of 30 hotel brands in the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio. Find wellness at Westin.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Paris Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 99 questions about the college football season. We ask one per day all the way until kickoff. How long can you wait until you name your starting quarterback? Now, this is not like the teacher, right? I don't know. Can you? May I? It's not how long. Like, I'm not saying physically how long could you wait till you name a starting quarterback, because we know You could wait right up until the starters jog out on the first game, right? That's when a starter is going to have to go out there. But Duke and North Carolina still haven't named a quarterback. They are 24 days and 25 days out from the start of their season. 24 days for UNC, 25 days for Duke. And there's no quarterback movement. I'm not here in panic mode, okay? I want that to be clear. But there is a point where I would be in panic mode. and the sooner it can be done and buried, I think the better, as long as it's the right decision. Let's be clear here. The most important thing about all of this is getting the decision right. The next most important thing is getting the decision right and giving that person who is the right decision the best possible chance to have success. So looking at North Carolina, meaning UNC, 24 days to the start of their season. They have at least 2, maybe 3 in the quarterback competition. It's at least the transfer Max Johnson and Connor Harrell, the returner who started the bowl game last year.
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby Criswell might be in the mix.
He can't transfer back in.
True. Started at UNC, lost the quarterback battle to Drake May a few years ago, transferred out, transferred back in after spring ball this year. And talking with Mac Brown at ACC Kickoff, he said, well, we've told Jacoby he's going to have to do something special to get into the mix, but it's possible. So 2, maybe 3. Mac Brown has also said he wants to have a starter named 7 to 10 days before the season starts. Here's my opinion on that. That is a deadline. That is not a minimum, right? It's not like 7 to 10 days means 10 days before the starter, before the starting game, at the most soon and 7 days at the latest. That's not what it says.
It's like we have to choose in this window. That's not what you're saying.
You could do it right now.
Yeah, you could.
Again, getting the decision right helps, but there's going to be a point when you know. There's going to be a point when you watch practice, and it's kind of, right, you ready for a cheesy quote? Who doesn't like a cheesy quote on a Monday? If you have a tough decision to make, flip a coin. Not to let the coin decide, but because when it's rotating in the air, you'll know what you're rooting for.
Yeah.
There's going to be a point in time in practice when you're watching the offense and you're just more confident that they're going to have success with one of the quarterbacks in, right? They're going to call play in a scrimmage, and you're just going to realize that you're more expecting success with one quarterback over the other, and it's really hard to talk yourself out of that gut feeling. It's really hard to then go to the other guy. And once you know, make the decision. For Duke, right, it's the high-price transfer, the high-profile transfer, Malik Murphy, and the returning, scrappy, played well in a tough situation last year, Grayson Loftus. At a certain point, Manny Diaz is going to be out there as a defensive mind, and he's going to think, it's harder to stop him than him. That's your guy. Go with it. Because getting the decision correct is important, but then you have to acknowledge that whoever your quarterback is going to be at a disadvantage against other quarterbacks, the starters who have their job locked up already. Because right now, in practice, and by the way, the NCAA mandates these sort of things, you can only have so much practice time, and if you're a minute over, compliance is gonna get in your ear. So with the same amount of practice time, other schools get to show their quarterback maybe 4 new blitzes in a practice or in a segment. You only get to go to 2 because you have to show quarterback A and then quarterback B, and that compiles over and over and over. They'll get 50% of the defenses that other quarterbacks see, 50% of the timing with their wide receivers. 50% is not enough. Then go again. Once you know, you know. Because sometimes what is it? Journalism is you need double confirmation, right? Journalism, you need one source that says it and then an independent source that says it, right? Can't be and no knowledge of blah, 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 blah. Sometimes I think coaches get bogged down in that. Like a head coach, particularly a head coach who has something riding on the season, will recognize it's quarterback A. They'll go to their offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator will go, well, I'd like to see a little more. All right, we'll wait. Go to the quarterback's coach. Well, I was actually leaning quarterback B. All right, we'll wait. 2 weeks later, Everybody's still in disagreement, and the head coach finally has to go, it's quarterback A. And I'm going, if you did that 2 weeks ago, everybody would have already been on the same deal. And like I said, it's hard to go back. As a head coach, if you feel more confident with one guy on the field, it's hard to have your offensive coordinator talk you into the other. Or like whoever has the final decision-making, right? Maybe the head coach is a CEO type, and he's just like, I don't know, I let my assistants – who do we have in a quarterback competition? I don't even know. There are head coaches like that. Not saying either in this situation, but there are. In that case, just replace head coach with offensive coordinator. If you're the one making the final decision, the moment you know, communicate that. You don't have to wait till 7 to 10 days or the last week or whatever it is.
Because you look at NC State, for example, Grayson McCall's getting all those first-team reps.
Grayson McCall,
they just know it.
All of them.
Yep, every single one.
Which allows the first-team offense to do twice as much. It's not just because it's not just the quarterback, right? Because then Casey Concepcion has twice as many reps with his starting quarterback as Jordan Moore does at Duke. Because Jordan Moore is making sure he gets on the same page with Malik Murphy and Grayson Loftus. Casey Concepcion's making sure he gets on the same page with Grayson McCall. Get the decision right. Take as much time as you need to get it right. But once you have the right answer, don't dilly-dally. So I would say 7 days is the latest.
Absolute latest.
To do it, but every day earlier is better. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. You always want to make right decisions, right? You always want to make good decisions. We talk about being prepared and doing the right things, especially when it comes to sports. No different than hopping on a motorcycle. You want to make sure you're prepared. You want to make sure that your bike is in working order. Make sure that it is properly maintained. Make sure you're wearing the proper riding gear, but also make sure that you yourself are in the right state of mind to be out there on a bike in traffic, because that all comes down with the preparation. And also being prepared is knowing how to be safe out there on the road. When you're riding down the road, know your exit pass. Like if the car in front of you all of a sudden comes to a stop or someone pulls in front of you, heck, we should all be like that when we're driving on a four-wheel car. We should all be ready for that, because we all know some people out there like to drive distracted. It happens, folks. But if you ever are on a motorcycle and you are injured in a motorcycle accident, this is where Law Tigers comes in. This is why you got to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company if you are injured in a motorcycle accident. Insurance companies, they want to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have an Olympic update coming up next, Olympic moments that we want to break down for you coming up next, as well as, is there anybody out there in Panthers Nation that could tell you to give David Tepper another chance that you'd listen to? Because one of the few maybe did over the weekend. Stick around.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
This year, Dell Technologies' Back to School event is delivering impressive tech with an inspiring purpose. Learn how Dell is helping Computer Aid, whose work is helping solar community hubs with tech and AI literacy skills to empower remote, displaced, or disconnected communities around the world. Help Dell make a difference and shop AI-ready PCs powered by Snapdragon X Series processors at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right. Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
Navy Federal Credit Union is back with more eligibility. Now you can hear all your favorites like, my brother's a veteran, I get amazing rates. My mom served, I get 24/7 member support. Grandpa was a soldier and now I'm a member. And who could forget, thanks to my father who served in the military, I'm now eligible for incredible member benefits. Call 1-855-800-2102 or visit NavyFederal.org today. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18 plus. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com. Ends 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Want a great deal on Mountain Dew? Handy Hugo's offering 2 20-ounce Mountain Dews for just $4. Do the Dew at Handy Hugo's today.
It's August, and that means back to school is happening. Football season's getting here. You don't want to be cleaning when all that's going on. You want to be doing the fun stuff. Let Zero Res take the cleaning off your hands. It's a perfect time of year to get your air ducts cleaned this month with 25% off your air duct cleaning. And on top of that, you can get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $115. It's all happening at ZeroResRaleigh.com, or you can call 919-995-0000. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You can listen to 99.9 The Fan for coverage of the summer games from France. Here's the current medal count presented by North Carolina FC. We, meaning the United States, had some moments over the weekend. I was tracking it where we did move into a tie for first place in gold medals.
That we are.
We are currently trailing only China. The People's Republic of China has 21 gold. We have 19. Australia is in third with 13. So there's a gap there between the top 2 and everybody else.
Yeah, we got a couple that are locked.
We still have some that are on the way that we feel pretty good about.
Men's and women's basketball, baby.
Men's and women's 5-on-5.
Yeah, not the 3-on-3. So not pickup hoops.
I feel pretty good about Noah Lyles in the 200 meter after seeing what Noah Lyles did in the 100 meter.
Yep, feeling good.
There's certain races that we feel pretty good about. So we'll see. We'll continue tracking it. If you are tracking total medals rather than gold medals, the United States is pretty much we've put that one away.
Crushing it.
76 total medals for the United States. Next closest is again People's Republic of China with 52, followed up by France with 45. Do you know what's just making an observation here? Because I looked through this earlier ahead of this update.
Mm-hmm.
The United States had 8 swimming gold medals in total.
It's a lot.
Michael Phelps did that in one Olympics by himself.
That's true, he did.
That's absurd. That's one of those things that, like, you're going to keep looking back at that was Beijing, right? Looking back at that Beijing run from Phelps and just go, this doesn't make sense. And by the way, I believe we had the most swimming golds of any country. Australia came in with 7. So Michael Phelps had 8 by himself. That's as many as any country had this year. It's absurd. It's absurd. Summer games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com. I'll tell you what the game showed me over the weekend.
Okay.
And there's still stuff going on today, and there's still a lot of Olympics left to go. This weekend, and even a little bit today, seem to be putting a gigantic spotlight and magnifying glass on the margin between thrill of victory and agony of brutal, brutal, brutal defeat. That 100-meter final, the Noah Lyles win, is unbelievable for Noah Lyles, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
He talked a lot of trash, and he backed it up by winning the gold medal in the 100-meter dash.
Said he was going to do it, and he did it.
And now still has the 200-meter, which is actually his better race, maybe going for the 1 and 2 double, which is absurd. I feel bad, for the Jamaican who finished in second because he thought he won. And Noah Lyles even said that he went up and said, I think you got it, before realizing that Noah Lyles actually won. So that's brutal. To think you're the gold medalist and then 15 seconds later have it taken away from you, that's rough.
By 0.005 seconds.
But the person who I feel the most bad for is the guy that finished in 4th. Go look at that final, the photo finish.
Mm-hmm.
Noah Lyles is finishing winning gold. Fastest man in the world. Coolest guy ever. Bragging rights against everyone he's ever going to walk into. The guy that finishes 4th is his head is at Noah Lyles' shoulder. No medals. No, what happened? I finished off the podium. The difference between coolest guy, best deal, fastest man, and not even on the podium. You don't get a part of the Eiffel Tower to take home as part of your bronze medal. You don't get the cool picture up on the podium. And the difference is 9.5 inches or in a 100-meter run. The guy that finished in second, seems like microscopic difference. Guy who finished in 3rd, microscopic difference. That's tough, but at least they get the medal. The guy that finished in 4th, the difference is now. That's the difference between winning gold and not even on the podium. I feel for that guy.
So razor thin. The finish of that was just wild.
It was crazy.
Because everyone was so clumped together and tight.
Literally, the announcer didn't even know. The announcer thought that the Jamaican won and was talking about all the different things he did in his. Oh, he had a great start, and we thought he was going to need to get 9.78 to win, and he ran a 9.78. Noah Lyles won. What is going on here? I watched the shot putting finals.
Oh, I watched those too. That was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool, and the guy that won is a monster. He had 3 straight golds. He's a beast. Guy that finished in second is a monster, but had 1 mediocre throw and then nothing but faults. Stepped out, stepped over the line, stepped out. It was raining. So up until his final throw, he was not in the mix. Dramatic. It was a cool moment. Heaves it, right? Silver medal. He's flexing, gets him up into the 2nd place behind his countryman. It was another American. And it's a great story. It's a moment of the Olympics. Until you realize there was another American who was sitting in bronze for a half hour and at the last possible second got knocked off the podium by his American buddy, by the guy who he traveled there with. That is, again, the same thing, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, right? Because the guy that won silver, straight up. But that's for a half hour, the guy in bronze thought he was bronze. He thought he was good.
I think he even had one more throw.
And
came up just short of winning or taking bronze.
The announcer said for a half hour he was sitting in bronze, and then in 20 seconds he had to get ready for a throw just to get back on the podium. That's brutal. How about the worst one? Came in a floor exercise today. So if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. All those
Earmuffs.
Others came over the weekend.
Earmuffs.
This one was this morning. Jordan Childs, American, won bronze on floor. The United States appealed for a scoring check.
Oh.
So she did not have bronze, and there was Ana Barbosu of Romania.
Okay.
Flag draped around her shoulders, getting ready to go up on the floor and do the walk around where she accepts her bronze and like accepts the cheers for winning bronze. And the United States appealed, saying you misscored her routine.
Really?
And it changed it. And so after they were all hanging out going, oh man, they messed you up. They appealed and it changed. So Jordan Childs wins the bronze, and the other girl, Ana Barbosu, has the celebration ready and just has to freeze in her tracks and walk off, now in fourth, not in third. That's as bad as it gets. And I don't know enough about gymnastics to know like if it was a legit like, oh, they missed a twist and it should have been a higher score. I don't know. But that is brutal, regardless of how you got there for the Romanian lady. And then I'm going to throw one to, like, this is a little different of, like, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, because it's not really a defeat. But Simone Biles, awesome, queen of gymnastics, champion multiple times over, greatest vaulter of all time, greatest all-around of all time. I do feel a little bit for Rebecca Andrade,
Brazilian.
She is the like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone of gymnastics. She won gold on floor, by the way, in which Childs and Biles literally like bowed down to her because I guess it was her first gold of this Olympics. But she might be this Brazilian Andrade. Might be an all-time great if she just happened to be born when Simone Biles wasn't doing her thing.
Yeah.
Like, would be getting all the love and the endorsements and all of the, she's unbelievable. Instead, she just got a boatload of silver medals. And she's the most decorated Brazilian gymnast of all time rather than some maybe all-time medals. That's brutal. Just, 8 years off. If she was just a little bit younger, a little bit older, she'd be a legend. Last one I want to highlight here, and this is just awesome. I got caught up watching cycling, women's cycling.
All right.
Which is, to me, the best part of the Olympics. Like, I'm going to watch tomorrow men's basketball. I'm going to watch the 100-meter finals in men's and women's every time. I like it when you're like, all right, kids occupied, I'm going to throw the TV on for a little bit. I got caught up watching women's cycling. Kristen Faulkner is, first of all, a monster, won gold. So as I do, right, because I always have my phone or computer out when I'm watching sports, I'm like, let me see her story. This is according to basically everyone that was cycling journalists. She grew up in Alaska, rode at Harvard, moved to New York City after school to start working for a venture capital firm.
Okay.
Notice we're now into like her young adult life, and I have not mentioned cycling.
Okay.
She took a beginner's cycling class in Central Park as a hobby. Started cycling every morning, 5 a.m. before work for workout.
Okay.
Started competing in local cycling tournaments. Started winning them.
Okay.
Quit her job. Moved to California to cycle full-time. Added the USA Road Cycling roster. Added to the USA Road Cycling roster. This exact, by the way, timeline from Joe Pompliano, who covers the business of sports. Added to the USA Road Cycling roster just 1 month before the Olympics. She won gold in the women's road race, which the United States hasn't won gold in 40 years. And everything I just described to you, from beginning cycling class to winning gold, 7 years.
So she just picked up riding a bike as a hobby.
She was in New York City, as I'm sure many young professionals in New York City do, especially if they're from somewhere where there's more space. Probably felt like she wasn't getting much exercise in. Probably felt like I don't see open spaces enough. She took a cycling class in Central Park. 7 years later, won Olympic gold in an event that the Americans have not won in 40 years. And kind of smoked it, by the way. Was kind of like she looked like a machine. And Harvard-educated, venture capital. She's got a lot going for her.
She's got a lot of great things going for her.
So congratulations to her on the gold medal.
One of the ones that actually stood out to me, it's unfortunately a negative moment in the U.S. Swimming and the women's 200-meter individual medley. Alex Walsh of the U.S. finished in bronze, but they reviewed like her turn after the backstroke was an illegal maneuver. Like she turned too quickly, so she got DQ'd.
Oh no!
So yeah, she thought she won. Looked at the scoreboard, she won bronze. Like I won a medal, sweet, awesome, what a bronze! And she's getting up out of the pool, DQ.
Oh no!
Because of video review, I was like, oh no. That was the only event that she competed in the Olympics was that one.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
I see. But that's the Olympics. If somebody's
that's
going to have
just
to come
sports
from
for
behind
you.
victory, someone's got to have the come from behind collapse. Every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Another thing that took place over the weekend. This was a good weekend for not my traditional sports, right? Like I know, Masters Masters weekend's going to be awesome. First weekend of the NCAA tournament's going to be awesome. Any football weekend's going to be awesome. Mixing in the Olympics with the Hall of Fame speeches was like a solid change-up. I really enjoyed it. Julius Peppers, Panthers legend, goes into the Hall of Fame. For most of the time, I'm watching the speech. Very good speech, right? Thanking the people he should, the coaches, the teammates, the family, the mentors, all that sort of thing. Talking about motivation and why he did what he did. Then he mixed in the Teppers. David and Nicole Tepper. He said, do we have the audio here? We have the audio, so I'll let you hear it from Julius himself.
I want to thank Dave and Nicole Tepper for your support and your friendship. Nobody has it all figured out from the start. But I believe in you guys, and just know our time is coming. So, in the words of the great Sam Mills, just keep pounding.
Does that do anything to help the Teppers? The Teppers approval rating is pretty darn low in Panthers fan circles.
It's about as low as it gets.
Julius Peppers' approval rating in Panthers fan circles is probably about as high as it gets.
Yeah.
Do you take a little cosign from Julius Peppers and maybe give a little grace to the Teppers? Because I think about it like this, and this is the example. A strong cosign from somebody who is cool can go a long way. Off air, I was telling Dennis this. Like, imagine somebody, new dude, right? New bro, new buddy, hanging out with you and a crew that you've hung out with a lot, right? Maybe you're college friends, right? Maybe he's a brother-in-law or a new neighbor or something. He works his way into the circle. And one of the first nights you hang out with him, I don't know, maybe throws up in your car. Throws up outside your car, but it gets on your car. You got to hose it off the next day. Something that's big party foul, and you're probably going you know who I'm not going to hang out with again?
That guy.
That guy, right? That's just no harm, no foul. Not my kind of dude. But then your best friend, a core friend, right? One of your bury the body friends calls you up and goes, "Hey, no, that's not him. It was a weird moment. Didn't eat dinner. He was trying to drink with your buddy and he couldn't keep up. And man, I'm telling you right now, he's one of the coolest dudes I know. He's one of my best friends. Don't freeze him out." You're probably gonna go, "All right, I'll give him another try." Invite him over for NFL Sunday next week, right? You're gonna give that guy one more try. David Tepper and Nicole Tepper, right, as the owners of the Panthers. I think it's fair to say they've thrown up in your car a few times, right? I think it's fair to say they've done some things that make you go, you know what? I'm probably out. I'm not in. If Julius Peppers gives you a call and invoking the keep pounding quote from Sam Mills, right? And he's bringing all of the Panthers energy that he could possibly bring, says, I believe in what they're doing. Do you go, all right, fine, I guess? He said nobody has it figured out to start. Is that Julius Peppers asking us to say, you know what, these first 5 or 6 years, that's just growing pains, and now they're going to figure it out? Because I want to make this clear, he didn't have to do that. It's not like a massive disrespect if you don't thank every owner that you've played for or every owner that you interact with during a Hall of Fame speech. I do think you probably have to thank each head coach you played for in the NFL. right? If you are a wide receiver that has some kind of a strong relationship with a particular quarterback, like it'd be weird if Marvin Harrison didn't thank Peyton Manning. Like those come across as disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Peppers doesn't say anything about the Teppers. There's no like, oh my gosh, why didn't he thank the Teppers?
Yeah, never played for them.
I think they did for 1 year, maybe.
Or maybe that's like his last season. That's
when he
right.
came back at the end.
Yeah.
I couldn't really figure out the timelines, but yeah, like he didn't interact with them a ton.
Tepper bought the team 2018. That was his last season.
A lot of guys don't thank the owners of every team that they played for. He wouldn't have had to do that, yet he did anyway. And it wasn't spur of the moment, because the Michael Jordan shout out that he gave was spur of the moment. And he said, I'm going off script here because I want to shout out the GOAT, Michael Jordan. And he didn't say I'm going off script when he shouted out the Teppers. Does it give the Teppers a little boost? I'll tell you right now, if I'm the Teppers, I'm taking that clip and I'm like paying for commercial television time and just broadcasting that across the state of North and South Carolina. And right up during every preseason game, like I'm using that. If the vets think of you that way, use that. They probably won't notice though, which will just add into the whole like, yeah, they threw up in your car again. Spilled the drink, if you will. But The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's quickly get this. Thank you very much. Let's quickly get into to this. NC State came in 22nd in the coaches poll. This is what the USA Today coaches poll. 22nd in the country. Too high, too low? How we feeling?
One of 4 ACC schools to be ranked.
How are we feeling? I'll tell you how I'm feeling. I'm feeling that preseason polls, no one should be their actual ranking. They should have an addendum. It should be like NC State in the USA Today coaches poll is 22nd for now. I think you should add in for now, especially for a team like State. State has in their first 4 weeks games against number 15 and number 14. They're 22nd. So guess what? I guarantee you, after 1 month of college football, NC State will not be 22nd. I don't even think they'll be really anywhere near 22nd. They'll either be way above it or way below it because they're playing Tennessee and Clemson so close out the gate. Clemson, who's 14th. They have Georgia in week 1, NC State, and Florida State all in the first 5 weeks. They are number 14 for now. Once you get like 6, 7, 8 weeks into the season, you start to kind of solidify where teams are, and you can say it with more confidence. Like, oh, they're the 22nd best team in the country. This is not they're the 22nd best team in the country. We got to start somewhere with the rankings, and this is as good as any place to put them because they seem like they might have something. Go ahead.
I'll say, by the way, other ACC schools ranked Florida State 10, Clemson 14, like you mentioned, Miami 19.
So NC State's the bottom of the 4 ranked. Mm-hmm. But going back to what I was saying, you see it near the end of the season sometimes where, like, if there are 2 teams that are close, you put one in. This is back when there were 4 college football playoff teams. If you knew a team had, like, big games remaining, you'd put them at, like, 8th. And a team that didn't have big games remaining, you could put them at 4th, right? Because you knew that if the team with big games remaining won those, you could justify flipping them, but you wouldn't have any justification to flip them the other way. To me, this is NC State is 22nd, and the acknowledgement is if they beat Tennessee and if they beat Clemson, they'll be top 10. 22nd is a place where you know they can move up. What they didn't want to have happen is put them at 12th, then they lose to Clemson and they fall to 22nd because they probably have a lower opinion of the ACC than that. But still, 22nd, you'll take it. I don't think it's enough to this is the way coaches always think, right? Nick Saban with the rat poison, that he says the media is rat poison. I don't think 22nd is enough that you're worried about NC State's ego getting through the door, oh, big head, look at them. They're ranked 22nd, but it's not low enough that you're like, hey, I want everybody to print out the college coaches poll and put it in their locker as motivation, they got us at 22nd. It's probably somewhere between those two things.
Like rat poison.
Hey, what a pull on the sound from our very own Dennis Cox. With that being said, pay attention. We're getting ready to call our Win Your Weight and Meat winner.
Yes.
We've been talking about this Win Your Weight and Meat contest presented by the North Carolina Pork Council and the dedicated team of farmers that put bacon and barbecue on your plate. Learn more at ncpork.org. We've been talking about it now for over 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We've been registering finalists. We've been having them come on the show and reveal their weight. We will pick the winner in the next few minutes. So be sure to stick around for that. And if you are one of the finalists, I can't emphasize this enough, turn your phone on. You do not want to miss your opportunity to win your weight in meat.
Do not want to miss it.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I also want to tell you about Window Nation. I'll tell you right now. My microphone's moving around a lot. I'll tell you right now, this weekend, I don't know if I've ever been more glad, more happy to have excellently sealed windows with material that has not failed. Again, Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation, and this weekend we did something that every kid should have the opportunity to do. We got the slip and slide out in the yard, and it ended with my 3-year-old son with the hose and like the full jet squirt, like the nozzle at the end that looks like the little gun and you can shoot it. And my wife was inside, which meant those windows were getting tested with the jet stream water, as much water pressure as our hose could allow. And that's the moment, right? That's the moment where you're going to hold your breath and go, did my window installers use the proper sealant and materials? Are my windows prepared to hold up? Or am I going to be cleaning up a bunch of water on the inside and calling Window Nation in the next couple of minutes? Right now, Window Nation is celebrating August with a buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years, plus an additional $250 credit. And on top of that, you get great windows. Not only do you get a great deal, not only do you get the credit, not only do you get no payments with no interest for 2 full years, on top of that, you get the great windows with proven quality, the materials that aren't going to fail, no matter how close to the window the 3-year-old with the hose stands. It is going to hold up, and if it doesn't, you have a lifetime warranty on top of that. Proven quality and service. It's no wonder thousands of homeowners have trusted Window Nation for their homes, and you can too. To get set up with a free, no-obligation consultation and lock in that August offer, call 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Or visit windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com. We'll reveal our Win Your Weight and Meat winner and get to football at 4. How much Bryce Young do you want to see this preseason? All coming up next.
Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company want you to see football live in Las Vegas. It's our Fan Football Flyaway. Starting Thursday, we'll reveal keywords every hour from noon to 6. Text in the keywords to enter for chances to win a trip or 2 to Las Vegas. We'll fly you to an amazing room at the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino, and we'll hook you up with seats for the Carolina-Las Vegas game. The Fan Football Flyaway, only on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander here from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. You know me, so I won't steer you wrong. The best place to bet the games this summer is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Then you can bet on all your favorite international teams and all your favorite events and sports. From basketball to badminton, soccer to swimming, FanDuel has it all. So don't miss your chance to score $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul. Paul with a capital P. Sign up and start betting those games today. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. based on the classic movie. Follow Crash Davis and his Durham Bulls story in a new genre. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Mortgage rates have plummeted, and Loan Pronto clients are locking in the lowest rates we've seen in years. Hey, it's Roger Moore, founder and CEO of Loan Pronto. It's happening. We are finally locking APRs in the 5s, something we haven't seen for a long time. If that sky-high rate is killing you or you need to get cash out of your home equity, now is the time to take action. Or listen, even if you want to keep that first mortgage rate intact, you can take advantage of lower rates with our Equity Express line of credit. We're seeing homeowners take 50, 75, 200 grand or more out of their equity and wiping out that high-interest debt with an average savings of $850 per month. Bottom line, your home value is way up and mortgage rates have come way down, making this a great time to act. Call today for a 30-second rate quote. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Middle of the day Monday, we're in the 80s, mostly dry, with isolated showers and storms this afternoon and evening, highs 88 to 90. We're quiet overnight, but some of the rain from Hurricane Debbie making it close to the area as soon as Tuesday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 1,033 points to 38,704.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have our winner in the Win Your Weight and Meat contest. For the past 2 weeks, we've been qualifying finalists every day on the show at around this time. So it's only appropriate that around this time today, we go ahead and name our winner. But before we do that, I would like to also acknowledge that the North Carolina Pork Council will match the prize amount to donate to a local food bank. So the weight of our winner will be matched on a local food bank as well, which is pretty awesome. Presented by the North Carolina Pork Council and the dedicated team of farmers that put bacon and barbecue on your plate. Learn more at ncpork.org. Our winner is Tim in Knightdale. Tim, congratulations.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Not only do you have an awesome first name, but you also now have your weight and meat coming your way.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to store it all. I think I got to go buy a freezer.
I think there might be like a plan where you don't get it the entire amount at once, which won't overload your freezer as much. If you don't mind, remind us what we're tipping the scales at so we know what this prize actually is.
Sure, I weigh 260.
260. So one of the top end possible prizes. This one is gonna be a pretty exciting prize for you.
Oh, it's a lot of bacon.
It is a lot of bacon. That's a great way to put it. Well, Tim, congratulations. Stay on the line. Dennis might have some more info to get from you, and we'll make sure you get your prize. But congratulations, and thank you to everybody that played in our Win Your Weight and Meat contest.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
260. I like it. I believe we had at least one contestant that was half that. We had at least one that was 130. So The random selection of which we participated in, Dennis and I were the ones that actually pulled the slip of paper out of the hat to pick the winner. Dennis was. I was holding the hat. That is $260. That's a good prize right there. And also that's a lot of prize that will go to the local food bank as well. So congratulations to everybody involved, and once again, thank you to the North Carolina Pork Council. Now let's jump into football at 4. I didn't think we had to ask this question.
Move the chains.
A little early.
Time for football
Jumped in.
at 4.
I'm excited. I'm like Dave Canales
start,
right
man.
now. I'm like Dave Canales right now. That's not a false start penalty. That's a he's too eager to have success penalty.
Oh, okay.
Spin zone everything optimist when we're talking about Dave Canales. He's wanting more plays. That's why he jumps off sides every single play. He thought our offense was so good we should have 1st and 15. I didn't think we had to ask this question, but apparently we do. Should Bryce Young play in the preseason? This is like right down the middle sports radio stuff. Should the starters play in preseason? Every year. I thought it was so obvious that Bryce Young should play in the preseason. We didn't even pitch it down the middle. We're throwing curveballs up here. We should have kept it tried and true because apparently, according to Dave Canales, he hasn't even decided if Bryce Young is going to play in the preseason yet. Here's Dave Canales earlier today.
There could be, I keep going back and forth with that because there's some value to like just allowing him to play with Austin, and then there's also the flip side of it, which we know, we're counting on those guys, and that's another approach to it.
What? Bryce Young was asked the same question on possibly not playing in the preseason. Here are his thoughts.
I trust in Coach. Whatever it is that he says, I'll listen to that. So, I trust in him and the staff, just like I have with all the stuff that we've been doing. So, whatever he says.
Are you antsy at all to play?
For me, I think that in the same way, I think it's a process. And, I trust in whatever they feel like the process is. Definitely I think, just obviously us being back, we all are competitors. We all are excited for the season. We're all excited for the year. We're all excited to be on the field together and compete. So, we all have that competitive edge to us. And then, as far as preseason goes, I'm just trust Coach with that.
Should Bryce Young play in the preseason? Yes. Should he play Thursday? Yes. Should he play in the second preseason? Yes. He needs reps. You brought in a whole new offense. You brought in a whole new offensive supporting cast. You brought in a new center. You brought in a new number 1 wide receiver. You have a new tight end. You have new other wide receiver. Yes. Yes, he plays. He needs reps. Last year, he showed he is not a finished product. You may have bought more into the flashes of greatness. You may be more pessimistic. We can all agree that it wasn't a finished product last year at the quarterback position. Reps. Secondly, what's the logic for not playing your starting quarterback in the preseason? Protect from injury, right? Because you want to protect your regular season. Because you want your starting quarterback healthy going into the regular season. This is not a contender season for the Panthers. And they're not going to say that publicly. Why would they? But they have to understand, chips are stacked against them as far as winning a Super Bowl, winning the conference, making it to a conference championship. So an injury that holds Bryce Young out for 2 or 3 games isn't as bad as it would be if every game mattered in a tight NFC race. Lastly, and I mean this with complete and total sincerity. I'm not saying it as a joke. Let him play well. It's easier to play well in the preseason than it is in the regular season. Let him make some highlights. Let us get some images in our brain of big plays. Let him make some big plays. Let the other team pull their starters and then beat up their backups with Bryce Young. If the Patriots pull their starters halfway through the second quarter, Bryce Young plays till halftime.
Get those feel-good reps.
Yes. Let Deontay Johnson know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Bryce Young can throw him touchdowns in NFL stadiums by letting him do it in the preseason. This one is, if you're like a 10-year vet or you're a running back, all right, if we want to have the conversation about sitting you out, sure, let's have that conversation. If you're someone with an extreme injury history, let's talk about sitting you out for the preseason. But if you are a healthy young player with a lot to prove, with a lot of new around you, on a team that is not protecting a Super Bowl run, we play Bryce Young. You play him every single time. How much? All right, I mean, I'm not saying you play him all 4 quarters, but you get him out there and get him some film to watch. You get him out there so he knows what it sounds like in the headset, right? Because quarterbacks have the radios in their helmets, to know what it sounds like to hear Dave Canales' voice in a game. And I'm also going to give Dave Canales a pass on this one because I assume he's not giving us the full story, because maybe he already knows and he isn't telling us for some reason. There's some bit of proprietary secrecy that he's trying to uphold. But it's Monday, and you don't know if he's going to play on Thursday? You better have a plan. The most important thing in this franchise is the continued development of Bryce Young. That is the most important thing in the franchise. I hope the plan has been discussed for a while on how you're going to develop him this preseason, just like it should have been for OTAs and minicamp. Everything should have been decided. Now, again, truth serum, I think there's probably a pretty good chance that Dave Canales knows whether Bryce Young is going to play or not on Thursday.
Yeah, I think he already knows.
So I'm giving him a pass. If he truly is like, I don't know, every day I wake up and it's different, what did the plan that hopefully you set out a long time ago say?
Well, I think also part of it has to do with just who's healthy around him. Because if Damian Lewis is still nicked up, Taylor Moton's been in and out of practice a little bit. I know they've been like vet rest days and stuff, but if the pieces around him are going to be good, you don't want to get him beat up.
I'll give you that. If there is a massive injury wave to like the offensive line or something, I'm not putting him in unnecessary, like, oh, there's no way he's going to be successful. Throw him out there on the train tracks.
Exactly.
I don't know if I've seen that yet. I know they've been hit with injuries. Tight ends been just ramsacked. I don't know if that's a word. The wide receivers, obviously Xavier Legette won't be playing on Thursday. Like, there's a few of those, but I think I mean, Bryce Young needs reps, man. He needs reps. He needs snaps. He needs to see it. He needs to be tackled. Like, all of that needs to happen. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's talk about having a plan. I'm Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. I don't know if you could have a plan for what's going on in some of the financial markets today. I like to consider myself an expert in some things. Not that. That's where Gordon Miller and Miller Lending come in. They're the experts, right? If rates are coming down, which would be a nice little welcome change in the mortgage market, let's go ahead and make sure you're aware that you probably paid closing costs of $5,000 if you got your mortgage in the not-too-recent history, and your rate is somewhere above 7. And if you want that rate to be lower, you don't want to have to pay that $5,000 in closing costs again, enter in Miller Lending's no closing cost loan, something Gordon Miller's been doing since 1987, and Miller Lending's been doing since they showed up in this market. You don't want to keep paying those closing costs, right? And with the unpredictability of the market, or with the expectations of where it's going to go, you might try to, I only want to pay closing costs once, so I'm going to time it perfectly. Miller Lending, no closing cost loan, can potentially lower your rate for no costs and fees, which frees you up to do it again and again and again and stop worrying about the timing. If you're interested, give them a call, 919-447-3377. If you want some advice on how to handle the market as it is changing right now, 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that is millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Podium. Who have been the best Panthers at training camp? Stick around.
The world's best athletes are in Paris going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Summer Games through August 11th. Listen for all the action from across the Atlantic. Check in often for event reports from Paris and the updated medal count as Team USA takes on the world. Updates from the Summer Games on 99.9 The Fan are presented by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at NorthCarolinaFC.com.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Did your mobile provider just increase their prices again? Switch to Spectrum Mobile, the nation's fastest growing mobile provider. With Spectrum Mobile, you get unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Switching to Spectrum Mobile has never been easier. We'll pay off your phone balance up to $2,500. Stop dealing with price hikes from your cell phone company. Get Spectrum Mobile. Visit spectrum.com/itpays-to-switch for full details. Offer subject to change. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
You know that feeling? That confident, swaggerific feeling that says, look at me, world, I know stuff. Own that feeling with PlaySmart, a fun new go-to resource from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With PlaySmart, get to know the odds, learn tips, set limits and budgets, and make the most of your play. Awesome feeling, right? Right. Play smart, the way smart players play. Visit ncplaysmart.com. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games, sponsored by Realtors. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. The U.S. women's 3x3 basketball team won the bronze medal with a 16-13 win over Canada. Haley Van Lith led the Americans with 6 points. Val Allman of the United States won the gold medal in the women's discus with a throw of 69.5 meters. That's back-to-back golds for Allman, who also claimed the top spot in Tokyo. All 3 U.S. women qualified for the 200-meter final. Gabby Thomas and Brittany Brown won their heats to advance, while Mackenzie Long was third in her heat, but made it through on time. The U.S. men's volleyball team took the first set from Brazil in their quarterfinal matchup, 26-24. The winner will face Poland in the semifinals on Wednesday. And semifinals of the men's soccer tournament today. Spain beat Morocco 2-1 to advance to the gold medal match. France and Egypt are at halftime with no score. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it, between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up, that can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Paris Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up in a few minutes, right after the podium, matter of fact, we're going to be playing a conversation we recorded earlier today with Anish Shroff, the Panthers play-by-play, who, by the way, you can also hear on Panther Talk Mondays at 6, right here on 99.9 The Fan. And yes, today is Monday, so it will be starting today.
Starting today.
So Anish and the Panthers Talk crew, or Panther Talk crew, 6 o'clock today, right here, 99.9 The Fan, following our show. And Anish will come up on this show in about, I don't know, a handful of minutes. Let's get to the podium. The podium for today is gold, silver, and bronze, who have been the 3 best Panthers in training camp. I always consider training camp to be broken up into like 3 sections. There's preseason games, right, where it's just you on you, you're getting into the swing of things. Then there's the portion when preseason games are going on. Then there's game week, which is essentially the 2 weeks before week 1, right? And that's where you stop worrying about the end of the roster and start going, all right, we need to get the starters ready. For right now, though, it's that earliest section. It is everyone's getting an opportunity. If you're going to be upwardly mobile on the roster, if you're going to go from second string to starter, if you're going to go from fourth string to making the team, this is where you're going to do it. You're going to turn some heads in camp. Not saying any of the players I've chosen have done that, but that's how I see it. So we're in that first section. Who's been the 3 maybe best, highly talked about, most impressive Panthers in training camp? I have a bronze, a silver, and a gold. Dennis, I believe you have a bronze, a silver, and a gold.
That I do.
We'll go bronze first. I'll lead us off. Jatavian Sanders.
Okay.
This is maybe not even all Sanders doing, right? Part of it is taking advantage of opportunities, being opportunistic. And as a tight end, he's had a bunch of injuries above him on the depth chart, right? Even if they wanted, right, if they wanted to do the old school coach thing and like rookies have to start at 4th string and work their way up, they have to earn their reps. It's like, all right, I'm 4th string, but Tremble's hurt, Sullivan's hurt, Thomas is hurt. Look at that, I'm 1st string. So he was thrust into that position, and he's done well. He's made some plays, made a nice catch at FanFest during the scrimmage portions, doing some good things in one-on-ones. At the end of their kind of team portion yesterday, he caught an RPO touchdown. So he's at least in the passing game making some plays. And then on top of that, today Dennis tracked down some audio of him singing a bit of his rookie training camp song. This is like you got to embarrass yourself to be a part of the team deal. Here's Jatavian Sanders.
Beautiful, crazy, she can't help but amaze me. The way that she dances, ain't afraid to take chances, and wears her heart on her sleeve.
I mean, I was going to make jokes, right? Thank goodness he's good at football, blah, 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 blah. No, that's just impressive. That's good energy. That's very little shame. Very, very difficult to throw him off his game.
Just got to buy into it.
That's my bronze medalist right there for best Panthers in training camp. I almost said best trainers in Panther camp. Dennis, who's your bronze?
All right, I'm actually going to go the collective here. I'll go in the running back room.
Okay.
Running back room as a whole, because we
That's
actually
usually what
have
I do. Usually I'm the guy like I'm breaking rules here.
This is my group. I'm going to the running back room, and because of what we've heard from Dave Canales, he has mentioned multiple times without even being prompt, guys like Mike Boone or Raheem Blackshear and like others during training camp, giving them praise without even being asked by them. And there's also Miles Sanders had this to say about the difference between last year and this year.
Last year, that's all I can say. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to talk about last year, but last year, left a real bad taste in my mouth. So just trying to, got something to prove,
So that was he was asked about the intensity level of practice, and we have heard Canales say, as a group, that room has been dictating the tempo of practice and also the intensity of practice. And I was there for the first padded practice last week on Tuesday. Miles Sanders had some things to say to direct it towards us at the media. Like, he popped off for a pretty good run and ran through a couple tackles, and I got some bleep for you guys too, and looked directly at us. So it was just like, oh, okay. So the running back room has been setting the tempo at practice, at least offensively.
I like that. I would have accepted just Miles Sanders there because everybody seems pretty pleased with his edge.
It looks different. He looks different. I'm not going to lie, Chuba Hubbard has looked good too. He really has.
Actually, I think Chuba's role this year, he's going to have a role. Miles Sanders is probably the one who is I got to perform well from the jump because once Jonathan Brooks comes back, somebody is going to have their carries, eaten into, and Miles Sanders probably feels that urgency.
Gets real crowded.
My silver medalist, best Panthers in training camp thus far, Deontay Johnson.
Okay.
I think he's doing what he should be doing. He's winning one-on-ones. He's getting open. He's making plays. He's probably the most tweeted out highlight guy of the Panthers, which that's what a number one wide receiver should be doing. He's going up against J.C. Horn in a bunch of different situations. That's what he should be doing. We've talked with Dave Canales, who has said, he said this to a bunch of people, our offense does kind of start with finding one guy, and right now it is, where's Deontay? And I think he's lived up to that. Dave Canales, speaking of talking with a bunch of people, he was on with Kay Adams on NFL Network praising Deontay Johnson's energy.
He works on his craft all the time. So in rhythm, routes, setting things up, releases, all that stuff. He's an absolute pro, but then it's the extension of the play where he really separates himself, and it's great to just show those examples to some of the younger players. If you want this ball, have a feel for the first route and then the second route. And we talk about that a lot. And again, like you said, Luke, it trains everybody. The O-line's got to know when to disengage. The defensive line has to know, I gotta keep the quarterback in contain here. The secondary and the linebackers, we got to plaster. We got to find work in our zones and just stick to it, and it makes everybody work. It's a conditioning thing as well. So really happy with where we're going there, but I'd love to see more of that happen just when it comes up.
Deontay Johnson bringing the energy. I feel like that's the number one way to get targets in Dave Canales' offense is just be hair on fire every practice. He's like, get that guy the ball 15 times a game. I think he's been the silver. What do you got for your silver medalist?
My silver's been Jonathan Mingo.
Interesting.
Jonathan Mingo looks like a completely different receiver than he did last year. Completely different. Now, again, everything we talked about with context of Bryce Young struggles last season, we have to apply that same context when it comes to Jonathan Mingo too, because he was also a rookie dealing with all the other stuff as well. Now, he looked bad on some other stuff that he did last season. For some reason, I'm going to jump up and land out of bounds for a pass that I can catch inbounds. Things like that. But I will say, seeing him at camp, seeing him perform in practice, he looks like a different wide receiver.
What a way to sneak in a little dig while you give him the silver medal.
Hey, it wasn't
big
all
compliment, but
else's
remember
fault.
last year was ridiculous.
Hey, I'm just providing context.
Hey, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yes.
And as you just mentioned, with the kind of first edition of their depth chart coming out, he is one of the first teamers.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that is the player who I talked about. This is the time of year if you're going to be upwardly mobile on the depth chart, you got to show something during this part of the season.
And if Xavier Legette can't stay on the field, well, guess what, dude? You're playing a lot.
My gold medal, and I'd actually, if I had to guess, I'd say we have the same gold medal. I have no knowledge of what you have, but I think it's just been that obvious. Jadeveon Clowney.
Okay.
when you are accused of ruining things for the offense during your Fan Fest scrimmage, that's about as high a compliment as you can pay a defensive player. Is he ruins things for the offense? That's your job description. Make what they do difficult. I think Jadeveon Clowney thus far, I mean, injuries are always a question with him. Effectiveness and being locked in week and week out is always a question with him. But thus far through his Panthers run, he's been really gosh darn good. Who's your gold medalist?
Deontay Johnson.
Oh, really?
For all the things that you mentioned.
So Jadeveon was off the list.
Trust me, it was close.
Wow.
It was close. I almost put Jadeveon as my bronze.
Then Deontay Johnson for everything that
discussed. For everything you mentioned, Deontay Johnson, tone setter.
You know what? Earlier today, we found out who Anish Shroff would give the gold medal to for thus far in the in Panthers training camp. So we thought we'd air that conversation for you. Here's the Panthers play-by-play man, Anish Shroff, from earlier today. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Joined now on the Heister Automotive Group hotline by Anish Shroff, Panthers play-by-play. Also, you'll hear him on Panthers Talk Mondays at 6 right here on The Fan starting tonight. The games will actually be on our sister station, Mix 101.5 and Buzz Sports Radio. Anish, thank you for taking the time out of your camp talk or camp coverage, I should say, to join us. We're going to start with a little mixing of kind of current events. We just set our podium for Panthers training camp, little Olympics flavor. If you had to award a gold medal for a player's early training camp performance, who's getting the gold?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm probably going to go a little off the grid here. A guy who's impressed has been a veteran, Jordan Matthews. Tight end, kind of came out last year for the Panthers. Was a former wide receiver, had some good seasons in Philly, and last few years hasn't played a whole lot. He's impressed in camp, and with some injuries, he might have an outside shot here to make this 53-man roster.
Well, I mean, that's the perfect lead into what has kind of been the story of the last 48 hours for the Panthers, which is injuries, right? Sullivan, Tremble, Thomas. That position opportunity might open up for somebody like Jordan Matthews. Kind of around camp, how much is that injury dark cloud starting to pop up into people's brains?
There was a moment today. Terrace Marshall took a big hit going over the middle from Deshaun Jameson, and he went down. He seemed to be okay afterwards. I saw him walking off the field. He was pointing to his core, but you saw a bunch of players gather around him down on one knee, and it gives you pause, right? Especially this time of the year. You got preseason games coming up, and we can talk all we want about scheme and new system and new coaching staff. We saw it last year. If you can't keep guys healthy, and if you get ravaged by injuries early, we saw what that can do to a season. So, keeping guys upright, keeping them fresh, and most importantly, keeping them available for the regular season, that's paramount.
Anish Shroff, Panthers play-by-play, joining us here on the Heister Automotive Group hotline on The Drive. We can talk new coaches. You just brought it up. It's what everybody wants to talk about. How has Dave Canales seemed, right? Is he, for lack of a better term, head coach-ish, like running the show for the first time after, his year as the OC in Tampa?
The things that jump out, he's a very positive guy. He talks about possibility. There is this unbridled optimism about him. There's also this great energy. And, it's funny. I think in the beginning you're wondering, okay, will this wear off? And then you find out, no, this is who he is. And every time I've been around him, whether we're recording an interview, we're doing a segment on air or off the air, that's just who he is. And a lot of the players have said the same thing, right? You're kind of wondering, okay, is this the new guy making a spiel? And then, no, this is who he is. So he's injected, this upbeat, optimistic, positive energy throughout camp. That's kind of my first impression. There's a lot of Pete Carroll there. Pete Carroll kind of has a similar demeanor. And there's a lot of what you saw in Pete Carroll, what you see in Dave Canales, and obviously with their history together in Seattle, that shouldn't come as too much of a surprise.
You hit on one of my fascinations about this season, which is how does Dave Canales react when maybe everything isn't like raindrops or rainbows and warm chocolate chip cookies? There's some reports out there that there may have been a lull in the early part of practice, particularly offensively, and he gathered everybody. Some veterans spoke. Is there like levels to the optimism? Is it like when he's not 100, it sounds like it. Like how does he convey when a head coach isn't happy? Because there will be practices, there will be games where things don't go their way.
Yeah, again, for him, it does start with that positive outlook. Say what you want. That's kind of who he is. That's how he's wired. And so I think even his messaging when things aren't going wrong, he was telling me the other day, I said, where does this come from? And he said, I don't want to be the guy that's carping on, well, you didn't do this when you didn't do this. It's, hey, when you do it right, this is what it looks like. And so even when there is that situation where you want to talk about adverse conditions or you got to get on a team, his MO is to go to, hey, let me show you and remind you of what it looks like when you did it right, instead of getting on you for you didn't do that correctly, you did this wrong. It's, what that looks like when you did it right. This is what it looks like. Let's get back to that. It just seems to be how he's wired.
Anish Shroff, Panthers play-by-play. Well, something that he seemed genuinely excited about, and I think this one is not just Canales, but any coach would be, is the clean return on the tests for Xavier Leggett's foot, ankle, whatever, lower leg, I think is what it was called. Not being the fracture and all those things, which is obviously great news. Like I said, that's not playing it up how fantastic that is. But how serious are the missed reps in a new offense for a young guy that some see as kind of raw?
I think we're going to find out, because there's still no timetable as to when a return is possible. When I talked to Dave Canales this morning, and you'll hear the interview on Panther Talk, he basically said, hey, we're going to lean on our medical people. So they're still gathering some information as to the severity. Granted, it could have been a whole lot worse, and it's not, which is a good sign. But will it be something that keeps him out a few days, a week, all of preseason? I think that stuff is still up in the air, and so they're waiting to get further word after some more tests from the medical people, which will kind of determine it. But, for a returning player, but certainly for a rookie, new system, new scheme, you want them to maximize their reps. I don't think there's any question about that.
Just heard Anish mention Panther Talk. That'll be heard right here on The Fan, 6 o'clock tonight and Mondays moving forward. So looking forward to that. Speaking of holding out maybe the entirety of the preseason and into the regular season, how do you see the running back rotation settling down now that Canales has mentioned it publicly? Jonathan Brooks not expected to be available even into the regular season for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that really didn't come as a surprise to those of us who had kind of been in the building and watching how things unfold. I look at it this way. To me, Chuba Hubbard has earned the right to be the starting running back going into the season. I think with the run scheme that they have, where it's more downhill, power running, duo blocking, which is when two linemen take on one defensive lineman, Chuba hits the hole hard. He hit the hole hard last year. The problem was oftentimes it wasn't there, or it developed too slowly because you had 15 different starting guards. But he's a guy who can run inside the tackles. He's got burst. He looks incredible. At the end of every practice, he is the last guy to leave the field. He's always doing extra work, whether it's drills, cone drills, jugs machine. I really believe Chuba's got a chance to have a big season. He's in a contract year. And then the early returns on Miles Sanders, everybody said, hey, there's a little chip. There's a little edge to Miles Sanders after a disappointing season in year one with the Panthers. So I think those two get the bulk of the reps. Sanders, I could see, as a guy who contributes on third down. Chuba has said he wants to be a three-down running back. And then Raheem Blackshear, who flashed at times last year, I think he's your third running back, a guy who can help you out on special teams, certainly in the kick return game. And then I would say the front runner right now, while Brooks recovers, is Mike Boone, a veteran running back who's played a lot of football, who can contribute on special teams as well. But this staff is really high on Jonathan Brooks. This front office is really high on Jonathan Brooks. You watch what he can do as a receiver, as a runner, his vision, his burst, his speed, his power. He's got all the tools, and it's a position that has been undervalued, the running back position, but they want to get Brooks up to speed as quickly as they can. At the same time, exercise some caution, because they do look at this guy from the long-term prism as somebody who can be, really effective for the foreseeable future, and they don't want to rush him in terms of getting back. But this is a deep running back room, and I got a belief that they're going to be able to run the football pretty well this year, especially with the revamped offensive line.
That familiar voice you hear, Anish Shroff, Panthers play-by-play. Hear him on Panther games on our sister station, Mix 101.5 and Buzz Sports Radio throughout the year. Last one before we let you go, Anish. Everyone's thirsting for Bryce Young updates. I'm sure it's the number one question you get. It's the number one question I get from listeners about the Panthers. Have you noticed anything that stands out to you as different about him this year versus last year when everyone wants that sophomore leap?
I'll be honest with you. I think it's hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And, we do this every summer, right? We do this every February in baseball where we see a guy in spring training and the stories about being in the best shape of his life and, he's revamped his swing and he's done this in the off season, and then the regular season results sometimes tell you otherwise, or sometimes if there's concern in the spring, all of a sudden that goes away in the regular season. With Bryce, he's had 1 year, which was chaotic from a coaching, alignment, philosophical standpoint. The injuries on the offensive side, on the offensive line, didn't help him. I'll be honest, I think he's as big of a mystery as anybody on the team, but I think because he's the quarterback, everybody knows if the Panthers and the staff can unlock the Bryce Young that this front office believed in when they made the move to go get him, it changes the entire calculus for this franchise for the next decade. If he's the guy, you have the guy at the most important position in North American sports. You got him on a rookie contract, at least for this year and the next 3 years. So it changes the math. We're all hopeful, and I think it'd be easy to kind of, grasp at things and say, well, you're seeing this and you're seeing this. And I just kind of come back to it's preseason. And even if you do say that, I think this is a fan base which at this point just wants to see it rather than be told it.
Anish, we appreciate you taking the time. We'll be tuned into Panthers Talk tonight and obviously to the games throughout the season. Enjoy camp, and thanks again.
Appreciate it, Tim. See you.
Once again, Anish Shroff, the Panthers play-by-play, and as you just heard me say, Panther Talk tonight at 6 right here on 99.9 The Fan.
By the way, Anish, talking to him at training camp a couple times, the guy knows his stuff in terms of, the guy did, film study of, the Tampa Bay offense last year and things like that. So, the guy knows his stuff for sure.
I just wish he would have said, it's super obvious how Bryce Young is light years better than last year. Instead, he was like, to be honest with you, it's going to be hard to tell till games get started, which makes sense and is probably the rational answer. I just wish it would have been the irrational answer.
We're not here for
he's
rationale.
50,000 times better than he was last season, and it's been obvious since day one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Here's something I want you to do. If you've ever ridden a motorcycle, if you're thinking about getting one, if you're currently a motorcycle rider, you own one, maybe you just hop on it on occasion, maybe on the weekends, hop out there for a little joyride, I need you to go to lawtigers.com. Go on lawtigers.com, scroll down on their website. They have a free rider benefit kit. A free rider benefit kit, which is for you, the rider. It's always good to know what your rights are and what benefits you have as a motorcycle rider if you ever are in an accident. This is where Law Tigers comes in to help you as someone who rides a motorcycle, including myself. I'm a motorcycle rider. It's nice knowing that I have people out there that back me up. This is where Law Tigers comes in, because if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Insurance companies, they just want to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your bike is worth. They understand what your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation with them is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a Summer Games update coming your way, and somebody from the Big Ten has to answer for this Michigan stuff. I'm the ACC, and I'm calling. Next.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your ATV, your side-by-side, even your golf cart are the best around. From sound station and security, we've got custom stereo systems, custom speakers, even video and LED lighting options for your bike, your ATV, and even your golf cart. Look the coolest on the road or at the lake, just tooling around. All available with installation from sound station and security, with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with 0 experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
At Lowe's, save big every day. Right now, get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of Metabo HPT nails. And there's more. Save 10% on select shingles when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money, your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Listen to 99.9 The Fan for coverage of the summer games from France. Here's the current medal count presented by North Carolina FC. We're closing the gap.
Yeah, we are.
United States picked up another gold since the start of the show.
Women's discus.
Spoiler alert.
Dang it.
You're the one that told me we should do it, and now I
know.
Spoiler alert. Women's discus. We pulled the gold medal. It was Valerie Ullman, and that makes it 20 for the United States, 21 for the People's Republic of China, who lead the way in gold medals. Next closest, Australia with 13, so there's a definite division there. And the United States is now up to 78 total medals. They also picked up a silver in men's pole vault.
Okay.
Which the guy that won, I believe he's Swedish.
Yeah.
Mando.
Yep.
Broke the world record.
Oh, good for him.
I feel like
That's awesome.
World records are always cool. World record in something track and field feels a little cooler because it just seems like everyone's lasted forever, right? It's like every world record in track and field, it seems like you can name. It's like, oh, that was Jumpin' Jerry in 1936. Even though I know that's not the case and people are getting stronger and faster and jumping higher every day. But it's a world record, which is cool. And the pole vault. In total medals, the United States ahead of everybody, 78. People's Republic of China second with 53, and then France in third with 45. And in golds, we're just one behind the People's Republic of China. Who's it going to be? Who's going to get the gold that pulls us even? That's what I want to know. Summer games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com. And I will say this, through the heats of the 200 meter, United States looking strong.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Got the Bednarik, the guy that finished 7th in the 100, cruising in the 200 through qualifiers. Arian Knighton, who, I don't know, has been a name in the 200 meter since last Olympics when he ran as a 17-year-old, cruising through the qualifiers. And Noah Lyles, as expected, he's the overwhelming favorite to win the whole thing, cruising through the finals. I want a American sweep on the podium of the 200 meter.
That'd be awesome. That'd be so cool.
I want all three of them up there. Granted, I want that for every event.
Oh, yeah.
But it just seems like it's extra plausible in that event. Again, Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com. Michigan football.
Got some explaining to do.
Yeah, there you go. You got some explaining to do. Including their new head coach, Sharon Moore. 50-something text messages deleted. The day the news broke of the scandal. The sign-stealing scandal, which, by the way, does appear to have begun when Jim Harbaugh's seat was on the hottest.
Recap the sign-stealing scandal for those who may not remember it.
So there is a rule in NCAA football that you can't in-person scout, okay? So if Michigan is playing Michigan State this week and they're playing Ohio State next week, they can't send somebody the week they're playing Michigan State to scout Ohio State in person. This rule has gone back a long time. And, you know, it's led to things like there's a pretty consistent and agreed upon trading of film where, all right, you couldn't scout us, we couldn't scout you, we each want to see each other, here you go, here's our tape, you send us your tape, on and on and on and on. Michigan, allegedly, although I don't even know if it's alleged anymore, like they had this guy Connor Stallions on staff who was buying fandom tickets, like just out there in the 50-yard line buying a hot dog.
Section 107.
And was going to games, and we're talking like dozens and dozens and dozens of them, not like 2 games. And he was going, and he was filming things on his phone and sending them back to Michigan. And the funny part is he wasn't filming like what the safety is doing in the secondary. He was filming the signalers on the sideline. He was filming what the coach signaled in to the quarterback to call a play. So then they could go back, watch the tape, align the signal with the play, and know what the play call was going to be.
Decode the message.
You get to the now we talk allegedly. There's quite a few videos of him on the sideline for Michigan, looking at the other team's sideline, and then seemingly going, pass, 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 and echoing it to everyone out there. It looks not great for Michigan right now. All right, we'll throw the allegedly on there because there's still appeals to happen. It looks not great. And part of it is because of how they acted once the scandal became public. Suddenly, allegedly, hard drives being taken out of the facility. Suddenly, allegedly, text messages between the new head coach and Connor Stallions, the alleged sign stealer, deleted before turning over your phone to the investigators. There's a lot of that going on. Now, I say all of that not to pile on Michigan, although maybe that would be fun. Not to pile on Jim Harbaugh for leaving a program in this shape and bouncing, although that might be fun. I say it to say this. Without that national championship, it's been a long time since the Big Ten has won a national championship. Without that national championship, without those playoff wins, it looks a lot like Ohio State and nobody else. It looks a lot like what people accuse the ACC of being, but not even as good because Clemson has won more and more recently. Florida State's been in the mix more and more recently. There has to be a situation here where we can relitigate all of this, the Big Ten is superior conversation based on new information that is being brought to light. Because I guarantee you they would do the same in the opposite. What did we talk about at ACC kickoff? What did we talk about since we've been back? The ACC needs a Paul Feinbaum. And that's not to say they need somebody that covers the ACC. I mean, they need somebody on the national media. The Atlantic Coast Conference needs somebody in the national media that when this happens takes out their metaphorical like weapons to go attack the Big Ten in the interest of promoting the ACC.
Go full blowtorch.
Go full. Listen, this is why the Big Ten is not as good as the ACC, and even if you think they have been, there should be asterisks next to their biggest accomplishments of the last 10 years. And there will be suspensions that come down. There have already been suspensions served. Remember, Jim Harbaugh was watching in his living room for a couple games last year for Michigan?
Yeah. He missed the game against East Carolina.
There's already asterisks on this bad boy. It's just no one from the other conferences, I guess, has the gall to stand up to the Big Ten and make it obvious that there should be. Because, the small infractions, like the whole Deflategate thing, I was like, throwing a football is hard, whether it's pumped up or flat. Like, I actually don't like throwing a flat. Like, who cares? That didn't change the impact. If you know the plays that are coming, that changes the game in its entirety. And even if it just became reputation, hey, Michigan knows signals. If everyone has to take like an extra couple hours every week to change their signals before they play Michigan, that's an advantage. Flag the championship, at least until the appeals process is done. Louisville, right? Can the ACC claim Louisville's championship, or has that been vacated? If you claim Michigan's championship, we got some ones to claim. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Want to tell you about Capital Financial. Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. Coach Pete will help you regain control of your foundation for retirement. With everything going on today, has there ever been a time where you want to be absolutely confident in a worry-free retirement in your investment accounts? Call now for Coach Pete's famous and elaborate retirement plan that is focused on maximizing your gains, right? Maximizing your income in retirement without at risk of losing it, right? It's he tells it to me in football analogies. It's wanting to go score, right? Wanting your offense to move down the field while also recognizing how important field position is, and you don't want to be retreating and you don't want to be costing your team field position. So, right, make as much money as you can for retirement without being worried about losing everything you've saved up. That sounds like something that is absolutely topical at the moment based on the uncertainty around so many markets right now globally. Coach Pete and his team at Capital Financial develop a total and customized retirement plan so you secure and maintain both confidence and control of your finances. He is committed to help you retire like a champion, getting you through that financial red zone, over the goal line, and into the retirement end zone. Give him a call at 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. And make sure they know you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. Or to make it simpler for you, even more simple, text TIM, T-I-M, to 600-700. That's T-I-M to 600-700 for Capital Financial and Coach Pete. We'll take a break. When we come back, starting five, the Olympics, the coaches poll came out for college football, and more.
You heard the perfect scores on air.
Just before the buzzer, that's 5 for 5.
We're bringing those champions to the stage. It's our inaugural Numbers Game Live show, presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. Our invitation-only event brings past players together August 21st at the Hilton Raleigh North Hills. Join us on YouTube as we crown a Numbers Game champ. Special thanks to on-site audio visual, supplying the sights and sounds of the Numbers Game Live.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
The Adam Gold Show.
Does the ACC need their own Paul Feinbaum? Not really. You know what the ACC really needs? They need NC State to beat Tennessee. They need North Carolina to beat Minnesota. They need Clemson to be good against Georgia. Win? I don't know, man. Georgia's a brick wall. But look the part. And Miami beat Florida. That's what the ACC needs. Win some of these games.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan. This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We have a flood watch that starts tomorrow, lasts through Friday. All of this rain coming from Debbie. Small chance for rain tonight, 73. Rain is likely Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're likely to see flooding as well.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 1,034 points to 38,703. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. You know what? Before we jump into our starting 5, let's give away some potential tickets.
Let's go.
Text UNC, 3 letters, to 919-860-5326. Text UNC to 919-860-5326 to enter to win a pair of tickets to UNC versus UNC Charlotte at Kenan Stadium on September 5th. We're talking college football. It's that time of year. We're giving away college football tickets. I'm sure you can tell the excitement in my voice, and I'm not even the one that's going to be winning the tickets. It's one of you. Text UNC to 919-860-5326 for one of your first chances to see UNC. And they'll be taking on UNC Charlotte at Kenan Stadium September 7th.
That is a month from this Wednesday.
You're darn right it is.
That's wild to think about.
You're darn right it is. It's actually pretty crazy.
Awesome.
With that being said, it is now time for the starting 5. Let's jump into it with number 5. The Olympics are going on.
Yeah, they are.
Which, by the way, United States, spoiler alert if you plan on watching the recap shows later tonight. United States men's indoor volleyball up 2-1 on Brazil in the quarterfinals. And they lead this set here 20-16 as we 20-17 as we sit here. But I feel like beating Brazil in volleyball would be a good move. They seem like a volleyball country. So the United States in the mix there. A win would obviously put them 1 win away from the gold medal match. Do you know what it's a small thing. The Olympics are very much built for big moments. Noah Lyles in the 100-meter dash. That is a big moment. 5 1,000ths of a second separating gold and silver in maybe the premier event of the Olympics. That is a big moment. Simone Biles on the all-round, right? Big moment, right? That's what the Olympics are they're made for. I sometimes like to find the small moments. Do you know what has happened a few times that I think is really cool? I've seen some of the best athletes of our generation be really excited for a teammate making by the greatness standard, a smaller achievement. Katie Ledecky is a good example. Katie Ledecky wins the 800-meter free.
Mm-hmm.
For the 4th consecutive Olympics, she wins the 800-meter free.
Yeah.
So 12 years ago, she won the 800-meter free. 8 years ago, she won the 800-meter free. 3 years ago, right, because they had that weird. She won the 800-meter free.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the weekend, she won the 800-meter free.
Crazy.
She was excited for herself.
She should be.
Held up the 4 fingers. Way to go. Then she looked up at the board and noticed one of her U.S. teammates won the bronze. And I swear to you, the smile was bigger. And it's kind of a cool moment to see Katie Ledecky recognize, I've got like 12 of these things. I got 14 of these things. Like, I'm going to work hard. I'm great. But to see someone else grind maybe harder or maybe break the seal on their Olympic medals, right, get the first or get one that like, she was just as excited for her teammate as she was. I mean, winning the same event in 4 consecutive Olympics is about as incredible as anything I've seen in the Olympics, and to see her attention change. I saw the same thing happen with Simone Biles, right? Simone Biles was talking with Jordan Chiles when Chiles had the score update to give her the bronze and floor, and you wouldn't have known, like, Biles was just as excited. In the vault, this is not an exaggeration, and it's going to stand for a while. Simone Biles is the best women's vault in the history of the world, and it doesn't look like anyone's getting close to what she's been doing. They've had to, like, change the scoring system to bring her back down to earth. So she won the chillest gold medal ever. She did, apparently the first vault she did is some double super duper pike.
Absolutely.
Is considered the hardest vault anyone's doing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
She nailed it, and before like she finished, she had a big smile on her face. It was unbelievable. But Jade Carey, her teammate, who had a collapse on the vault, like did not live up to expectations in Tokyo, won the bronze, and to see Simone celebrate that was really cool. I just think the athletes supporting athletes part of the Olympics, particularly some of the all-time great United States athletes, has been really fun to watch. And also little things like, you know, the United States men's basketball team popping up all over the place. Apparently Anthony Edwards fancies himself some kind of a table tennis expert. He showed up and watched like the table tennis competition and said it was one of the highlights of his Olympics. That's just like those things to me are something you don't get at other events.
Just soaking in the thing as a whole, soak in the whole event.
In the NBA Finals, you don't get like, hey, on LeBron's off day, he flew across country to watch a hockey game. Like, you don't get that. But in the Olympics, he can because it's right down the street. Anything stand out to you?
Something my girlfriend and I watched yesterday was the kayak slalom.
Slalom? Okay, I watched the kayak cross.
Yeah, well, it's like the slalom where it was like there's like 4 kayakers at the same.
Cross.
Oh, okay, it's kayak cross. Yeah, we watched that. Like, oh, this is kind of intense.
Did you see the one with the 2 sisters?
No, I did not.
There were 2 sisters, United States, the Fox sisters, and one of the older sister actually missed one of those buoys they had to go around.
Oh, really?
And there was a pretty good hug at the bottom, but the older sister was more accomplished. She had like won Olympic golds in the past, so there was very much like a hug of like, if it ain't me, go get him, little sis.
Exactly.
But no, that event is. I don't know how you get into that because it looks like it's all man-made. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. I think it was the first Olympics they've done it with multiple people on the course at the same time. I think they should do it full contact. Next time, swinging paddles like baseball bats. like those old American gladiators.
Yes, the joust. Make that an Olympic sport. Let's go. Make American Gladiators the all-around. I want American Gladiators all-around competition.
People running around with that tennis ball gun.
Yes.
Pop, pop, pop.
Absolutely.
There's a documentary I started. I haven't finished
The Assault.
it yet on the old American Gladiators. As number 5, let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
North Carolina State football Wolfpack, 22nd in the country in the preseason coaches poll, USA Today. I think this is fair. I think actually, if there's one nitpick, if we could have one, I think NC State's a better team than Miami. And neither are the most accomplished team, right? It's not like they're returning a whole bunch of conference champions, but both being super talented, high expectation team. Miami came in at 19th. If I had my druthers, I might flip those if I'm being real fine tooth comb like. But NC State being ranked bottom of the ranking, near the bottom of the ranking. Upward mobility, they play the 14th and 15th team in the poll in the first month of the season. So you win those, you don't have to worry about it. It's kind of nice to have this, right? NC State should be higher. They should be higher. It's like, all right, well, beat Clemson, beat Tennessee, flip the order, beat Tennessee, beat Clemson, you'll be as high as you want to be, right? It really is that simple for NC State, by the way. If you're sitting at 22nd right now, you beat Tennessee, and then was it 2 weeks later you beat Clemson? You're in the college football playoff projections. You are a top 12 team in the country. And then for the rest of the season, it's hold your position, right? Then you just keep winning, and you'll be where you want to be. If you were started, 57th, which they don't go that far in the polls, but if you started 57th, you would need some help above you. You would need some teams that you're playing to do well so those wins look better. You would need more. State, you control your destiny. Obviously, you start losing games, you're going to lose control of your destiny. But as of right now, 22nd in the coaches poll, that's high enough. That's high enough. Who are the other ACC teams ranked? Obviously, Clemson's 14.
Florida State 10, Miami 19.
Florida State is 10. No single digits for the ACC? Couldn't swing one of them? All right. Settle it on the field. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was number 4. Let's jump to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
The Panthers. There are quite a few things that are going on with the Panthers that I think are like there's someone to blame. It's someone's fault, right? Trading away too much to go up and get Bryce Young, that's a Scott Fitterer thing, right? Like you can directly decide on that. Some of the ways the team has been handled, that's a David Tepper thing. There's a message there. How rough Bryce Young's first year was. That's a Frank Reich and a Thomas Brown thing. There's a direct, you can point an arrow. Injuries are kind of just, you're going to have to deal with them. It's a luck thing. Jonathan Brooks, actually that one you can kind of, you signed up for that one. Jonathan Brooks, you drafted a guy coming off an ACL, and you shouldn't be surprised that he's going to miss the entire preseason and into the regular season. That makes sense. Xavier Legette with the lower leg injury, that one's a bit more of what are you going to do, right? You draft Xavier Legette, first rounder, right? You trade into the back half, right at the bottom of the first round. You draft a wide receiver because your team needs playmakers, and you're probably thinking, sure, he's a little raw, right? Only had 1 year of elite production in college, but we'll get him here. OTAs will work with him. Mini camps will work with him. Training camp will work with him. What ends up happening? Hamstring keeps him out for a bunch of the OTAs and mini camp. Now he's into the training camp, and he has a foot injury, and he's out The MRI and scans and everything came back no fracture, nothing too serious, it appears, but still day-to-day, still not going to be out there for the first preseason game. This is one where the Panthers are going, this is not how we planned it, and it's not your fault, but you're the ones that have to deal with it, right? It's not your fault, but that's kind of what football is, right? Control what you can control and try to have success regardless of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Tight ends. If Jatavian Sanders ends up being a stud, their 4th-round pick, we're going to forget how dire it looked right now.
Right?
Stephen Sullivan placed on injured reserve with a quad injury last week. Tommy Tremble has been sidelined with a hamstring injury, although expected back hopefully not too long into the future. Ian Thomas dealing with a calf injury, could sideline him all the way up to week 1. Sanders is getting a lot of reps, man.
Which actually, if he does turn into a stud, we can sit there and say, well, he's getting all these first-team reps.
Mm-hmm. It's very much, it'll be like rewriting history.
Yeah.
If Sanders ends up being like, an all-rookie team guy, we're going to sit back and go, how great was it that those injuries took place in preseason and he got all those first-team reps?
Thanks, Tommy.
If he ends up not being ready, it's going to be, goodness gracious. And he was thrown into the wolves too early because of all these injuries. It'll very much be like 2020 hindsight. But either way, it's not where you want to be right now, right? You want Sanders climbing the depth chart because he's outperforming the veterans, not because the veterans are just falling down in front of him. Shaq Thompson, 4th consecutive practice today, missed, dealing with a hamstring injury. My guess is they're just going to be wildly conservative with him.
Mm-hmm.
Left guard Damian Lewis, one of their big free agents. Shoulder injury has been limiting him since last week. Andy Dalton, backup quarterback, quad injury. He's out for at least a little bit of time. DJ Wanham, quad, still not back. Amari Barno, these are 2 edge rushers expected to contribute opposite of Jadeveon Clowney. Barno with a knee, he's still not back. Offensive tackle Yash Nyman, who's brought in as the swing tackle to back up both right and left tackles. He's still on the physically unable to perform list. It's a lot of injuries for a team that couldn't afford an injury. I mean, this is the ultimate, if you're a superstitious person, you're going to hate me. I will say, like, the top 7 or 8 most indispensable players are still healthy and playing.
Careful now.
It's a volume of injury thing that's concerning right now.
Careful.
It's a pure number of. Should I push it even further?
No,
All right.
No, you should not.
We'll go ahead and I'm not superstitious. I don't think I affect who gets hurt next. Let's go ahead and leave that one in number 3 and jump to number 2.
Just the 2 of us.
Julius Peppers went into the Hall of Fame over the weekend. Cool moment. There was some weather, actually, ironically, that pushed it back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But the event was cool. Devin Hester goes in. Dwight Freeney goes in. Like, there were some. Andre Johnson goes in. There were some heavy hitters. Julius Peppers, to me, was the cream of the crop. He was the highlight. I'll use someone else said this on social media last week, but I thought it was a good way to put Julius Peppers. If Julius Peppers had a single salesman bone in his body, he would be the defensive line version of Deion Sanders. Right? Statistically, one of the best to ever do it. 3rd all times in sacks. Athletically, brought a little extra juice to a position that kind of had been big dudes, bull rushing for a while. The basketball element gives kind of the folklore, same as Deion Sanders with baseball. Just kind of that extra bit of, and he's so good of an athlete. The only difference is Julius Peppers more of a quiet guy. So he didn't put out music videos. He didn't, rock the Jerry curl and the chains. But it's still a really, I think, an apt comparison. And then Julius Peppers walked up to the podium, gave his speech. It was a very meaningful, worthwhile speech, thanking coaches and players and mentors and teammates and all of this. Family. And then he thanked the Teppers, the owners of the Carolina Panthers, who everybody seems to seems to not be super on board with. And Julius Peppers, do we have the audio here set up? And here is what he said.
I want to thank Dave and Nicole Tepper for your support and your friendship. You know, nobody has it all figured out from the start. But I believe in you guys, and just know our time is coming. So, in the words of the great Sam Mills, just keep pounding.
Here's the struggle going on with Panthers fans right now. Do you like David Tepper? Do you believe in David Tepper's leadership? Most would probably say no. Do you trust Julius Peppers? Most would probably say yes. So what happens when Julius Peppers says he believes in Tepper? This is a thought experiment that could make your brain explode. Right? I talk about this often, right? When I text someone asking a question, or I call someone asking a question about something I consider them an expert in, if I don't say like, hey, I'm going to use this on air, I don't tend to say their name on air because I don't know if they want it out there. So I just say is like, hey, I texted someone I trust who would know about defensive line play. Julius Peppers would be one of those people I would trust about how to run an NFL team, right? If he was in my circle, if I had him on a group chat and I said like, hey, are the Teppers as bad as they seem? And he wrote back, not at all. I believe in them. That's somebody that could change my opinion. So how much of Panthers fandom right now is potentially having their opinion changed even a little bit in favor of the Teppers?
Probably not. Very, very little.
So are they looking at Julius Peppers and saying, you know what you're talking about?
I think they're looking at Julius Peppers and saying like, hey, you know what? That's great. But right now our team stinks. And until that changes.
Hey, Peppers played on some stinkers.
He did, but he was also a great player.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, our team stinks, and unless you're going to come out and retire him here, Hall of Famer Julius Peppers, and turn things around, I'm putting it all on the big wigs.
Now that you mention it, wouldn't hate to have 15 to 20 snaps of Julius Peppers opposite Jadeveon Clowney.
Would not hate it.
Right now, he still looked in decent shape.
Oh, yeah.
Tell him show up on Thursdays.
Hey, 3rd and 12?
Yeah.
Pep.
I mean, I'm not asking for 65 snaps anymore.
Just one snap.
I'm asking for 14 pivotal snaps. Dropping you into coverage. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Finally, let's get to number one.
The one!
Speaking of the Panthers, Dave Canales still undecided on whether Bryce Young will play in preseason games, saying he's going back and forth on whether Bryce will play this Thursday. They play this Thursday, by the way, against the Patriots. Bryce Young today was asked about the possibility of not playing in the preseason.
Coach, whatever it is that he says, I'll listen to that. So, I trust in him and the staff, just like I have with all the stuff that we've been doing. So, whatever he says.
Are you antsy at all to play?
For me, I think that in the same way, I think it's a process, and I trust in whatever they feel like the process is. Definitely I think just obviously us being back, we all are competitors. We all are excited for the season. We're all excited for the year. We're all excited to be on the field together and compete. So we all have that competitive edge to us. And then as far as preseason goes, I'm just trust coach with that.
Bryce will never, ever, ever say anything but the most polished response possible. It is unbelievable. And I won't knock him for it because it's smart. And in the modern world where if you say one thing kind of out of place, boom, it's on every aggregator's website and every podcast is talking about how you don't know this. It's so bad for that. Occasionally I do want Bryce to be honest because I vividly, or I completely believe if you were to ask Bryce Young, do you want to play on Thursday? His answer would be, you're darn right. I haven't played great football since Alabama. I want to be out there every chance I get. I want to turn over every stone to make sure we are ready to roll. But instead we get, well, I trust coach completely, and whatever coach wants for the preseason, that's what I'm going to do. And Bryce Young should play in the preseason. Am I missing something, Dennis? Before I go full as far as I went earlier.
No, nothing I can think of.
Bryce Young should play in the preseason. He is not the type of player who you can sit back and go, no, he has the practice. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to be successful. One day you hope he gets there. I hope there's a year where Bryce Young is not even close to playing in the preseason because you're so confident he's going to be ready for week 1 and have everything figured out. He's just not there yet. He's just not there yet. We've been talking about how we're going to do our best to treat this year kind of as a repeat rookie year. Because last year, for a whole bunch of reasons that were completely out of his control, from the quality of his support staff, meaning the rest of the offense, to the play callers that were setting the tone for him, to everything in between, last year is kind of a wash. If this is his repeat rookie year, rookies play in preseason. It's a new offense. Get as many reps in it as you can. It's new wide receivers. Get as many reps with them as you can. It's new offensive line. It's a new center. Get as many reps with them as you can. Bryce Young should play in the preseason. How much? We can get into that debate. Should he come out after halftime? We can get into that debate. How many series? How many attempts? Okay. As Dennis brought up earlier, and it was a good point, if there's a bulk of injuries to the offensive line, and suddenly you're questioning whether you can adequately protect him, fair. All right, extenuating circumstances.
Seeing as how he was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL last year.
But if you have your starters and you still don't think you can adequately protect him in the preseason, he needs reps behind whatever is going to be there for the regular season.
Yeah, well.
He needs to speed up that alarm clock. I was actually saying this off air earlier. Bryce, from all the clips I've seen from training camp, looks pretty special on the move. He's throwing very accurately when he gets out of the pocket and he's on the run. The problem with it is a lot of times he doesn't break the pocket until a defensive lineman runs by him, right? As if to say, this would have been a sack, but I can't hit you. Maybe Bryce needs to speed up his internal alarm clock. It used to be 1, 2, 3. All right, break the pocket. Maybe it's 1, 2 out, break the pocket. Because if you're accurate throwing on the run, that can be an asset, but only if you can get on the run. And that might be something he can learn in the preseason based on whatever's in front of him. Play Bryce Young. Shaq Thompson, he doesn't have to play. Derek Brown, ask him if he wants to. Bryce Young, and thus the offense around him, even the veterans, you have to play if you're playing Bryce. They have to play this preseason. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's our very own Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Loan Pronto. Mortgage rates are way down. They've been dropping big time, so it's a great time to call Loan Pronto. They've got APRs in the 5s. That's right, in the 5s. So if you got stuck with a high rate last year and want to refinance, this is a great time to call and lower your payment. Or take advantage of this opportunity to get cash out of your home's equity to pay off those credit cards, personal loans, car loans, and all that other high-rate debt. Loan Pronto can help you use these lower rates to get the cash you need in a matter of days. You could do a full refi, or you can do an Equity Express line of credit. Homeowners who call Loan Pronto typically cut their monthly payments by $850. Bottom line, your home value is way up and mortgage rates have come down big time, making this a great time to act. So call today for a free 30-second rate quote. You may be able to skip your next 2 house payments. Call 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, Equal Housing Lenders, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, and MLSConsumerAccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs some numbers game contestants. The prize for today's numbers game, the winner will receive
$25 gift card to Sharky's Place.
Sharky's with back-to-back-to-back-to-back wins for best wings in the Triangle, voted best sports bar, quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world. Sharky's. $25 gift card goes to the winner. To win, you have to play. To play, you have to call in right now. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. 888-266-2626. We need 2 contestants for the numbers game coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Dak Prescott should be the one voice in that organization. He always says the right thing. He always presents a great front, and he always presents team first, winning, class. He's awesome. He should be the one voice. They will never do it. There shouldn't be the Jerry Jones weekly radio show. There shouldn't be the Jerry Jones press conferences, all the different things he says. But that man, Dak Prescott, should be the one voice in that organization.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Spectrum Internet has enough speed to handle all your needs, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus, Spectrum's advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security for all your connected devices. Get Spectrum Internet with fast and reliable speeds, starting at just $29.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee. Visit spectrum.com/internet for you for full details. Offer subject to change, valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1904 $20 Gold Liberty coins have been found. These gorgeous 1904p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1904 Gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1904 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 120 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-895-7664. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-895-7664 now to secure your 1904p $20 Gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-895-7664.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander here from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. You know me, so I won't steer you wrong. The best place to bet the games this summer is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Then you can bet on all your favorite international teams and all your favorite events and sports. From basketball to badminton, soccer to swimming, FanDuel has it all. So don't miss your chance to score $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul. Paul with a capital P. Sign up and start betting those games today. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Val Allman of the United States defended her Olympic gold medal in the women's discus with a throw of 69.5 meters. The gold medal is the 20th of these games for the U.S., second only to China. Overall, the Americans have a commanding lead in the medal count with 77. Other medals won by the U.S. today include silvers for Sam Kendricks in the men's pole vault, Simone Biles in the women's floor exercise, and for the mixed skeet shooting team. Bronze medal winners for the U.S. today were gymnast Jordan Childs in the floor exercise and the women's 3x3 basketball team, who beat Canada 16-13. U.S. men's volleyball team leads Brazil 2-1 in their quarterfinal matchup. The winner will move on to face Poland in the semifinals coming up on Wednesday. And on the beach, the U.S. men's volleyball duo of Miles Partain and Andy Benish advanced to the quarterfinals. They beat Italy 2-0. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
Welcome to Staples. My son's teacher emailed his back-to-school list. He needs crayons and comp books.
With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for school.
Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue.
You got it.
And markers?
Of course.
Oh, geez.
Can we get a cart?
please?
Save big on back to school with Staples Hot Deals. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are only 45 cents each at Staples. Ends 9/14, in-store only, limit 10. Prices valid in select stores. Visit staples.com/stores/school deals.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Paris Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The contestants, David in Garner and Ralph in Durham, are competing for a $25 Sharky's Bar and Grill gift card. As always, we have to start with a question to see who gets to go first. We'll start with David in Garner. David, are you there?
Yes.
All right. What was the highlight of your past weekend, but it has to be sports related?
I watched Liverpool beat Man United 3-0 in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, they were in Columbia, South Carolina. All right. That's pretty cool. That's pretty good. We'll go to Ralph in Durham, see if you can top that. Ralph, what was the highlight of your past weekend, but it has to be sports related?
The men's swimming having one gold medal in an event streak has still been maintained when Fink brought it home.
I did see that in the 1,500 meter. Was it the men's solo gold?
Yes.
Ooh, this is tough. Because technically we normally lean local, which is kind of what David said. But I'm also USA, which I think I didn't even know he was doing. Ralph, you just won yourself. You get to go first. Ralph gets to go first. David, don't worry though. You'll have your chance to win essentially when your time is up. So Ralph in Durham, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Now I know you're there. Here are the categories you get to choose from. NFL A game, all players whose first name starts with A. NFL OK, all players whose last name starts with K. NBA current players only, or NHL Canes and Whalers only?
NFL A.
All right. These are all players with the first name that starts with A. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Perfect. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers.
12.
Correct. Adam Thielen, Carolina Panthers.
Say it again.
Adam Thielen, Carolina Panthers.
17.
Incorrect. Amani Toomer, New York Giants.
81.
Correct. Amari Cooper, Cleveland Browns.
80.
Incorrect. Adam Thielen, Carolina Panthers.
17.
Incorrect. Amari Cooper, Cleveland Browns.
2.
Correct. Yeah, got that one in right under the buzzer. Aaron Rodgers, 12. You got it. Amani Toomer, we would have accepted 89 or 81. He wore both, but you gave us 81. Amari Cooper, number 2. Got that one right before the buzzer. Adam Thielen, as far as local Carolina Panthers, he wore number 19. So you were in the teens, 19. But not on the right team. Either way, that's 3. Solid score to start a Monday. We'll see if it holds up.
Okay.
David and Gardner, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, the categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL OK, players with the last name starts with K, NBA current players only, or NHL Canes and Whalers only?
I'll try NFL.
All right. All players with the last name that starts with K. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number. 30 seconds on the clock, so go as fast as you can. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions?
No.
All right, you need 4 for the win, and your time will start when you hear the horn. Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs.
88.
Incorrect. Cooper Kupp, Los Angeles Rams.
Pass.
Jim Kelly, Buffalo Bills.
12.
Correct. Bernie Kosar, Cleveland Browns.
8.
Incorrect. Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs.
87.
Correct. Cooper Kupp, Los Angeles Rams.
4.
Incorrect. Bernie Kosar, Cleveland Browns.
18.
Incorrect. Cooper Kupp, Los Angeles Rams.
12.
Incorrect. Bernie Kosar, Cleveland Browns. Close. You were in the right kind of neighborhood. Travis Kelce, 87. You got that one. Cooper Kupp is 18 or 10. He currently wears 10, but he had worn 18 previously. You got Jim Kelly with 12. Bernie Kosar with the Browns wore number 19, so you were dancing around that one as well. Unfortunately, 2 is not enough for the win, but hopefully you had a good time.
Appreciate it.
All right. That means the Sharky's $25 gift card, the Sharky's Bar and Grill $25 gift card goes to Ralph in Durham. Ralph, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
There you go. I appreciate that excitement. So go ahead and hang on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get from you to make sure you get your prize, but congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sharky's with back-to-back wins for the best wings in the Triangle, voted best sports bar, quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world. Sharky's. Pretty cool moment there. He was really excited. Felt like there were some medals being passed out or something. In the meantime, before we move on, let's hear from our friend Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Law Tigers. One thing I always talk about in sports is preparation, right? Making sure that you are prepared and ready to go out there when you set foot on the field, the court, whatever it is on the course. This is also where preparation comes in when it comes to riding a motorcycle. As someone who rides a motorcycle, there are several things that I check. Make sure my bike is in proper working order. Tires are all good. Make sure the chain and the belts and all that stuff are all working properly. Also make sure all my fluids, just like you do with the car, right? It's no different than that. But also make sure I'm checking out road and weather conditions because, I don't know, probably you listening here in the Triangle probably had some wet weather just roll through here pretty recently. I'm not going to go riding out in that. That's all about being smart and prepared before you go out on the road. So, again, that's where Law Tigers comes in for you, is because if something does happen out there on the road, they're there for you. Because if you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount of money possible, whereas Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your bike is worth. They understand what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. So that's why your case evaluation with them is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back to close out the show with somebody who is not going to come save the ACC. So stop hoping. Coming up next.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
At Lowe's, save big every day. Right now, get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of Metabo HPT nails. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's Business Credit Card. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
It's almost football season in the Bull City
ready, and your Duke Blue Devils are back at Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium. Season tickets are on sale now, starting at just $145. Don't wait. New this season, you can add the Devil's Deck in-stadium experience to your ticket and receive exclusive access to the end zone tailgate space with all-you-can-eat food and drink. Get your season tickets today at goduke.com/footballtics or call 919-681-BLUE. Duke Football. Bleed blue.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Listen to 99.9 The Fan for coverage of the summer games from France. Here's the current medal count presented by North Carolina FC. The United States is still 1 gold medal behind the People's Republic of China.
Oh, we got this, though.
People's Republic of China with 21 golds, the United States with 20. Australia with 13. Followed up by France and Great Britain tied with 12.
We know we're going to win it in men's and women's basketball, so just go ahead and just count those.
Well, the question is, I don't know if there's other random sports that, like, China is just as guaranteed to win.
Yeah, we're not
right.
Gonna say
There might be like a badminton or something coming up that they're like, well, that's 4 for us, men's and women's, doubles and singles. Like, I don't know if that's the case, so I don't want to count.
Probably a mixed.
6 or 5. I don't want to count like our like sure things unless we're counting their sure things. So as it stands right now, 21 for China, 20 for the United States. But the weekend was good for the United States. We made up a lot of ground. And by the way, we are smoking everybody in total medals. We have 78 now. China's in second with 53. So running away with that one.
Right now, it looks like we're in first in the triathlon. So we got that going.
All right, they're on to the bikes.
No, they're on the running portion now.
The running portion?
Yeah.
Gosh.
We're totally taking this.
I hope so. I don't know. Is DT Nib the American who's in the lead? Are they a strong runner or are they a strong swimmer? I don't know. By the way, triathlon, beast. If you're good at those, monster. You have my respect.
I did a sprint triathlon years ago, and unfortunately, during it was like peaking training, like really ramping things up, like 6 months or
sprint,
6.
How far is this? It's a shorter one, right? But
so yeah, it's supposed to be it was supposed to be I think a 750 or 800 meter swim, and it was at Falls Lake, and then it was I think like a 10-mile bike run or bike ride, and then a 5K run.
What
it was going to be? No, it was not. But then unfortunately, I had some like stomach and intestinal issues like happen like right as I was supposed to hit like peak training, so I had to stop training for 4 weeks. Like could barely eat, and it was just. So, yeah, I struggled, to say the least. And then I hurt my shoulder, and the swim was
I feel bad for those also. By the way, Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com. I feel bad for those Like, obviously the games only come around once every 4 years. You twist an ankle like 6 weeks before.
Yeah.
Like that might have been your chance, right? I don't know how long you peak in some of these events, but it's just like, yep, there you go. Rest of your life. You're like, no, I was the best in the world for like 4 years. It's just I got hurt for the 2 weeks that the Olympics were going on, and the other years nobody really cares about world championship medals. I got a bunch of them. That's brutal. Triathlon, also brutal. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I read an entire article. I have the same kind of thoughts on the ACC that a lot of people have, which is I think the ACC is strong. I think they have a grant of rights deal that is handcuffing everyone together, and it's going to be really difficult to break apart. But I also know if Notre Dame wanted to join the conference as a full-fledged member, that would really solidify it as one of the big three, if you will, right? It would take the conference to another level from a monetary standpoint, a whole bunch of different ways. So there's an article in The Athletic, which you can find online, about the future of Notre Dame. And I clicked on it with the same optimism that most people click on it from the ACC, which is, all right, how many ways can we get them in the ACC? Turns out it ain't going to happen, at least not the way it was framed here. Former athletic director Jack Swarbrick of Notre Dame used three factors to keeping Notre Dame's independence, and he passed these along to the new athletic director, Pete Bavacqua. Might be pronouncing that wrong. The three pillars were your TV deal, your path to the college football national championship, and a home for your Olympic sports. Right? Those were the three things, if they were challenged, that Notre Dame would their independence wouldn't be plausible. Well, last November, NBC and Notre Dame announced a new TV deal through 2029 with a whole bunch of money. Option number 2, in March, the FBS conferences and Notre Dame, who gets a seat at the table for all of these, agreed to a new college football playoff framework, which allows Notre Dame to have a path to the national championship. And number 3, most of Notre Dame's other sports are already in the ACC, and the ACC would never boot them out. And hockey is in the Big Ten. If the ACC wants Notre Dame to come to the metaphorical rescue, those are the fronts on which they have to attack, and Notre Dame seems pretty impenetrable in those fortresses. So when we get to talking about all of the potential changes and who could go where and who could replace who and what happens if this happens and what happens if the Big 12 makes this happen, there's always that big, yeah, or Notre Dame, and it's always like a big, of course, if Notre Dame. Yes, everything could be solved by Notre Dame. Unless you see one of those three things on shaky ground for Notre Dame, they've got no interest in saving anybody. They have a good TV deal. They have a path to the national championship. And the ACC has already solved their issues on every other sport other than football. And guess what else is going to happen? Because I think the easiest one to attack would be the college football playoff, right? Say you have to win a conference championship to blah, blah, blah. Say you have to finish in the top 3 in your conference to make the college football playoff. Say something along those lines. And that one little rule change would make Notre Dame join a conference. But guess who's never going to agree to that? The other conferences. Because they don't want Notre Dame to join the ACC.
No.
Yeah, right? You only want them to join a conference if it's your conference. So they're not going to force them into any conference. So you're never going to get the unity to make that happen. If I don't know, somebody had enough swing and enough pull with NBC to make them start backing out of future deals with Notre Dame, maybe that could be the case, but nobody has that kind of swing with NBC. Everybody else is in bed with either Fox or ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame is not coming to the rescue. So, hey, Jim Phillips and everybody, the movers and the shakers, if the metaphorical bleep hits the fan, have another plan. Have 10 other plans. I mean, still call Notre Dame just to see.
Oh, yeah.
But have other plans as soon as you hang up, boom, fire plan 7 or whatever you're looking for.
Well, here's the thing as well to keep in mind is that when it comes to the ACC, if Notre Dame actually does want to join a conference, ACC basically has like first right of refusal because of grant of rights with all the other sports. Is that, okay, if you want to go to the Big 10 or Big 12 or whatever it is, you have to go through the same thing that Clemson is potentially trying to do, or Florida State's trying to do. Like, you get to pay your way out, and you owe that grant of rights to the ACC through 2036. But now here's also something in mind as well when it comes to NBC, their partner. You see that deal is through 2039. That's also, I think, when the Big Ten's roughly around the same time their media deal runs up, and NBC, I think, has like third-tier rights with the Big Ten as well. Who knows what it's all going to look like when NBC, Fox, and CBS look to renegotiate with the Big Ten. What's going to be the more of a prize?
And let's not forget, by 2030, we're all going to be watching them on our contact lenses anyway.
Of course.
Streaming it straight to the brain, just sitting there wide-eyed, looking at it up in your mind's eye.
Just my inner third eye?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I'm going to watch games now?
Well, you just go cross-eyed and watch a football game.
I think some of us do that already.
Sometimes you stare at Red Zone long enough. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox has something for you.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. Talking no credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners, they're turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. And with Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes. With almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle, you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value, it's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Earlier today in this show, we talked to Anish Shroff, the Panthers play-by-play broadcaster. And in that conversation, we mentioned that Mondays at 6 here on 99.9 The Fan will be airing Panther Talk. Well, guess what? It's Monday, and there's a Panthers game this week starting on Thursday in the preseason against the Patriots. So that's going to be coming up here in the next handful of minutes. Panthers Talk Mondays at 6 right here on The Fan starting tonight. So you can stick around and catch that. Also, and I do this occasionally, it's the only real personal favor I ask of you. Right? Normally, if I'm asking you to text in, you might win tickets to something. Or if I ask you to do something, you might win your weight in meat. We gave that away earlier today. But occasionally I ask you for a personal favor, and that's follow us on YouTube. Go to our YouTube, subscribe. You will get something in return. You'll get some awesome content that we put out on YouTube every single day. But it is like, just, hey, do us a solid. Allow us to keep making content, keep pushing things towards YouTube. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. With that being said, Panther Talk coming up next, so enjoy that. We'll be back tomorrow for a Tuesday edition of the show. I'll be hosting Adam Gold's show prior to it as well, so I'll see you for 6 hours tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
The world's best athletes are in Paris going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Summer Games through August 11th. Listen for all the action from across the Atlantic. Check in often for event reports from Paris and the updated medal count as Team USA takes on the world. Updates from the Summer Games on 99.9 The Fan are presented by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at NorthCarolinaFC.com.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com. Ends 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Want a great deal on Mountain Dew? Handy Hugo's offering 2 20-ounce Mountain Dews for just $4. Do the Dew at Handy Hugo's today.